Yo, it's your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatics, back at you with a new video. Today's next live stream, you already know what it is. It is going to be World Series game number 5, Texas Rangers versus the Arizona Diamondbacks. It is Wednesday, November 1st, 2023. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Smash that like button either now or on your way out. And donate if you can. Cash App, $, ORIONNWSF, or the YouTube Super Chat right here. First pitch is going to be here in a couple minutes. The Rangers are up 3-1, and the Diamondbacks have their backs against the wall in a must-win game. Will we crown a new World Series champion today? It's highly likely, but we still have to play the games to kind of, get everything settled. Let's get into the thumb and then go into the starting lineups. All right, baby. On the left, we got our guy, Mr. October. It's no longer Reggie Jackson. It is Corey Seager. And on the right, we got our guy, Corbin Carroll. Let's get into the starting lineup. Starting with the visiting Texas Rangers. Leading off for the Rangers, second baseman, Marcus Semien. Batting second, playing shortstop, Corey Seager. Batting third, playing left field, Evan Carter. Batting cleanup and batting fourth, DHing for the Rangers tonight, Mitch Garver. Batting fifth, playing third base, Josh Young. Batting sixth, playing first base for Texas, Nathaniel Lowe. Catching tonight for the Rangers, Jonah Heim. Batting eighth, playing center field, Leody Taveras. And batting ninth, playing right field tonight, Travis Jankowski. And on the mound for the Rangers, Nathan Eovaldi. Let's go, Rangers. Show me something. And let's go with the home Arizona Diamondbacks. Last game at home for Arizona, so they're going to try to extend the World Series. Leading off for the Diamondbacks, right fielder Corbin Carroll. Batting second, playing second base, Ketel Marte. Batting third and catching for Arizona, Gabriel Moreno. Batting fourth and playing cleanup for Arizona, first baseman, Christian Walker. Batting fifth, playing DH for the Diamondbacks, Tommy Pham. Batting sixth, playing left field, Lourdes Gurriel Jr. Batting seventh, playing center field for Arizona, Alec Thomas. Batting eighth, playing third base tonight, Evan Longoria. And batting ninth, playing shortstop, Geraldo Perdomo. And on the mound for the Diamondbacks, Zach Gallen. All right, baby. World Series game number 5. A lot of NHL, a lot of NBA, and we got the World Series. This could be the last game of 2023. Let's get it. Go, baby. Still waiting on my lights. I haven't got them just yet, but they should be hopefully arriving in the next, I would say, 2 hours. I was hoping that we were going to be able to get them now, but I ended up moving around some of my umbrella lighting. I also ended up moving around some of the other lighting that I had, and I was having some distortion, getting a little frustrated, but then I decided to get a cleaner, clean the computer screen, clean the camera, and it looks like things look a little sharper on my end, and obviously on your guys' end as well. So once the sun sets, we're having a lot of rain here in Oregon. We'll see if the distortion ends up coming up, but if it ends up popping up on the left or right hand corner just very slightly, hopefully my lights will show up by then. I can plug one into the back of my iMac, get enough light, and we'll be good to go, which is kind of crazy because I got like 3-4 lights and I got the window open so I can see out my bedroom. But still, you got to have those LED photography lights to bounce off the green screen appropriately. But I'm ready to go. Daniel in the building. What's good, brother? How are you? Sarah in the building. Let's get to 100 in donos. Let's do it. And hopefully I won't have to have a message in the left corner to block any, any type of, screen distortion and whatnot. Oh, good to hear. Good to hear. How's she doing? I know my dad's going to be going in pretty soon, so hopefully everything will go well for her. What is she having done? Did she have like ACL, MCL, PCL, some cartilage repair? What was the surgery that she had on her knee? Yeah, Bobby Knight, the crazy lunatic, like I said, throwing chairs on the court, very well respected, but also a little crazy. Rest in peace, Bobby Knight, the very famous Indiana head ball coach for college hoops, passed away just a few hours ago. And keep me updated on anything else NBA or NHL related. Total knee replacement on her right knee. Oh, wow. What does the rehab look like for her? Is that going to be like 2 to 6 months for the rehab, or is it going to be longer? Or well, I know you guys will help her out, so I wish her the best. And thank you for helping out with the shares on there with the Twitter/X. And hopefully we'll get some people to come through to enjoy possibly the last game of 2023. And I've been looking at my Amazon, and refreshing it like every, I don't know how often, but it's still not delivered. And it says arriving today by 10 p.m. I don't know what the latest. I don't really buy things on Amazon or through Amazon Prime, but obviously when my lighting went out, I have to get some new lighting for streaming, right? And it says by 10 o'clock. Has anyone ever got anything from Amazon delivered to their house after 8 p.m.? I've never gotten anything delivered that late, but it's already 5:07 here, so I would assume that I'll get it before 8 p.m., but it says, assumed to arrive before 10 p.m., but I guess they do have vans and trucks that, they have contracted out, through Amazon that does the deliveries. And it went out the door at 11 a.m. in Hillsboro, which is a few towns over from me, but still no lights just yet. But it looks, if everything looks like this, we'll be fine. I won't even have to worry about it. And like I said, cleaning my computer screen, cleaning my camera, cleaning the lights, and just getting everything kind of readjusted, positioning wise. It looks a lot better than it did yesterday or the day before. So let's go, baby. And we're working on the subs too, only 868 to 21,000. So we're definitely making moves. And can you believe it? It's November 1st already. I feel like Halloween wasn't really as big as it was in years past. I know as you get older and to an adult, it depends on how many kids come to the apartment, townhouse, condo, or home. But it just felt like the weather was so bad here in Oregon that there was barely anybody out last night. I took Paisley for a late night walk after the stream, and so that way that she could just go to the bathroom and kind of get some fresh air. And I saw a couple groups of adults and kids, but not as many as I thought I would. Maybe Halloween is, I don't want to say it's overrated, but maybe it's not as jumping and popping as it was maybe a few years ago. Also depends if you had rain in your hometown state. And obviously that'll deter a lot of the kids from wanting to get out and go trick-or-treating, I assume. Marcus Simeon takes a ball outside, 1-0 count. I know, isn't it crazy? It's crazy. Like, we really have to appreciate where we're at right now in sports. Like, NASCAR is about to wrap up. World Series is about to wrap up. So we got the NFL in full swing, college football in full swing, NBA and NHL just started, and this is the best time of the year. And we got WWE coming up, Crown Jewel on the weekend. So we're going to be very, very busy. Pop foul. So I assume that we're doing this game tonight. Then we're going to do Thursday night football with the Titans and Steelers, which I'm actually excited to see. I assume Will Levis will not throw for 4 touchdown passes on the road since they're not going to be wearing the Houston Oilers throwbacks. But he might throw 2, maybe even 3, who knows. And then on Friday, I haven't looked that far on the schedule. Popped up, Marcus Simeon, 2, Corbin Carroll, routine play, 1 away. And then I will look on Saturday, but I assume on Saturday, we will do Crown Jewel because I'm going to wake up early. I'm not going to miss a WWE pay-per-view. We usually try to do AEW maybe once a year if I can afford it, sometimes twice. But we try to do AEW here and there, but WWE every month. So we'll be doing Crown Jewel from like 10 a.m. to like 1:30. And then instead of doing the Duck game against Cal, I'll watch that on my own time because we're going to blow them out by 20 or 30 points. So then I'm going to take a couple hours of rest, and then we're going to actually do the Huskies and the Trojans. So that way we can showcase Michael Penix Jr. and Caleb Williams. So that way I can scout both teams. Because I already know if I do the Duck game, we'll see what kind of turnout we would get. I think the turnout would be all right, but it's going to be a blowout. The Huskies and Trojans, you would assume, would be a closer game as long as USC brings their A game with Caleb Williams. So we know their defense is a little suspect, but you would assume that both teams are going to go at each other. And besides USC and Washington, Oregon and Oregon State, those are the top four, that are in the Pac-12. In 2019 and 2020, the Ducks won the Pac-12, and obviously 2021 and 2022, the Utah Utes won the Pac-12 championship. So USC is kind of on the prowl. Same thing with Washington. So that's going to be the tentative schedule. Too bad that the Dolphins and the Chiefs are playing at 6:30 a.m. my time. Obviously in Germany, because that would be a fire game to do. I guess if I had a bigger following and I could guarantee that people were going to show up, like if we actually had more subs and more commitment, from fans, I would sacrifice some sleep and do that game. But, it's just going to be something that I'll wake up and watch it, but I'm not going to stream it. And then we'll do some reaction videos, and then we'll end up more than likely doing Sunday Night Football, but I haven't even peeked that far ahead either. So, John in the building, what's good? Hopefully you guys are doing great. Pitch on the corner for a strike. Top of the first. Knotted up 0-0. And for us baseball fans, it's kind of coming to an end. Evan Cotta in the box. Obviously, second out was Corey Seager. Marcus Simeon with a pop out to Corbin Carroll, and we're having a little mound visit as Evan Carter gets readjusted in the box. No Adolis Garcia, no Max Scherzer, no problem. And I just can't believe that Corey Seager is going to be the new Mr. October. There's going to be new baseball cards and, custom things that they're going to come out with. And good for him. More than likely, it seems like there's like a 95% chance the Rangers are going to win. I mean, you're up 3-1. And the way that the Diamondbacks have played, I don't see them winning 3 in a row. That would be like literally the biggest comeback and one of the biggest Cinderella stories of all time if the Diamondbacks were to come back and win in Game 7 and then they win the next 3 games in a row. I just don't see that happening. But that's why we watch these games, and we want to see where things fall. But I assume that the only way that the Diamondbacks were going to win the World Series if they won the first 2 games on the road and went up 2-0. And when you had that dramatic loss, when Corey Seager hit that 2-run bomb to tie it 5-5 in the bottom of the ninth with 2 outs, right? And then you had Adolis Garcia and extras hit the walk-off. I said there goes the Diamondbacks' chance of actually winning or getting it to 6 or 7. So I feel that we're going to get a Ranger win tonight, and then the season will be over. Rangers in 5. But that's kind of what I predicted after Game 1. Not that the Diamondbacks aren't good enough, but just the way momentum has shifted, and the Rangers are phenomenal on the road. So, do I think the Pac-12 has a shot at the college football playoff? Damn right, absolutely. In years past, hell no, right? But this year, we got the best quarterbacks, arguably, out of any conference, right? That could possibly pan out to be franchise guys or be above average. Shedeur Sanders, Bo Nix, Caleb Williams, Michael Penix Jr., and even guys like next year, the following year, with Utah and Cameron Rising and a few others from some of the other schools. So I actually think, depending on who ends up winning the Pac-12 championship, if Oregon or Washington wins, I think that we do have a shot to get there. Now, can we actually beat a Big Ten team or an SEC team? That is yet to be seen. But I do feel that this is the best the Pac-12 has ever been, top to bottom as a conference, and that's what makes it sad, is that this is the last year of the Pac-12, and obviously a lot of transfers came over. Ugalele from Clemson to Oregon State, Bo Nix from Auburn to Oregon, Michael Penix Jr. coming from Indiana to UW, Caleb Williams coming from Oklahoma to USC. But I definitely think if Oregon or Washington gets in, we could possibly get to the Natty. We could upset whoever that team may be. It's going to be tough against a Georgia or a Florida State or an Ohio State or a Michigan. I feel that Oregon and Washington match up really good against Michigan and Ohio State. I feel that we would be able to do that. Florida State, I'm not really worried about them. The only one that would probably worry me a little bit is Georgia, because even though they're not as good as they were in years past, right? It's still Georgia. They still have SEC NFL talent. And it just seems like whenever, the Pac-12 plays SEC, we get close sometimes, and other times we get blown out, and obviously that Auburn championship in 2010 when we had Chip, that was the one Duck championship that we should have won, in my opinion, over Cam Newton. But we'll see. But if we end up missing out on the playoff and it ends up being Ohio State, Michigan, Florida State, Georgia, or a number of those teams, or if Washington goes, I'm going to be rooting for the Pac-12 to go all the way. If Michael Penix Jr. wins the Heisman, awesome. If the Washington Huskies win the Natty, awesome. I'm going to be rooting for him. He's my favorite player in college football. But I definitely think that we're better off top to bottom, than we've ever been. And Oregon is very good. We're the only top 10 team in the country, overall, that is top 10 in the running game, top 10 in the passing game in the entire country out of all Division I teams. So, and our defense actually is playing pretty good. Some of the transfers we've gotten from the SEC, Alabama transfers, and a few of these guys have actually stepped up. Kind of surprised. And instead of having a bottom 4 Pac-12 defense, we're top 4. We're right there with Oregon State and Washington. So we'll see how it goes. But, I'm going to be rooting for the Pac-12 to try to go as far as we can. And then if the Huskies and Ducks miss out, then I'm going to be rooting for both of those squads to win their bowl games and finish strong for the Pac-12. So we'll see how it goes. The Raiders, finally. And we'll see a guy in here at some point. But, God bless the Davis family. Finally, you got rid of Josh McDaniels. You got rid of the GM. You got rid of the OC. You stripped it down. You're going to start Aiden, just like me and A-Guy and Sarah were saying. It was very clear Aiden was the better quarterback. Jimmy's a name, and it can get political, right? But if Jimmy sucks, bench his ass, right? There's no point, after name recognition and money and millions of dollars, you got to give the fans what they want. They will accept the losses if they get the rookie in there and they blow up the coaching staff. They'll be okay with the losses now. You know what I mean? But if you continue to go with Jimmy, they're not going to be okay with the losing because they already know they're going to lose. At least with Aiden, it gives you a slim chance to squeeze out some of those games, especially if Max Crosby goes beast mode. You know what I mean? So I like it. Joshua Dobbs going to be starting for the Vikings pretty soon after this week, going into week 10. Love it, right? You're getting a lot of quarterback movement and a lot of quarterback changes. Also, Heineke for Meineke over Desmond Ridder. I like it. I think they should have started Heineke for Meineke from the very beginning. Thought he was a better player, like when he was on the Washington football team, made the playoffs a couple years ago, throw to second. Safe. But again, a lot of times it's political, and it depends on how much money was paid to that quarterback or when you drafted that guy. And so there's pressure, from the owner, the GM, be like, hold on, we drafted Desmond Ridder. We can't just bench him. That's not a good look. But to me, Heineke isn't good enough to be the starter long-term either, but he gives you a better chance to win, in my opinion, even though I do like Ridder from time to time with his legs and every once in a while with his arm. I just feel he's more of a backup quarterback like Heineke for Meineke. But if you get Heineke, involved, I think that he gives you a better chance to win. And maybe Shedeur Sanders will end up on the Falcons, and that might be the missing piece that they're looking for. And then it'll either be Ridder or Heineke for Meineke as the backup, and they can all fight for that starting job. So we'll see. But I'm definitely excited, about the opportunity for, the Pac-12. But also, too, the Pac-12 merging with the Big Ten, we are going to be the new super conference. Everyone's saying SEC. Alabama and Georgia are no longer as good as they used to be. And now if you end up, adding USC, UCLA, Oregon, Washington on top of Michigan, Ohio State, Iowa, Wisconsin, I think that top to bottom, that super conference in the Big Ten will be better than the SEC top to bottom. Every once in a while, will Alabama and Georgia be at the top? Of course. They're Alabama and Georgia. They got Kirby Smart and Nick Saban, right? But it just seems like the shift is changing, and even though they're adding Texas and Oklahoma to the SEC to bulk their conference up, yeah, Texas and Oklahoma will be pretty good. And then they got Georgia and Bama. But honestly, if Washington or USC can get a good quarterback after Caleb and Michael Penix Jr. leave, I think I would take Michigan, Ohio State, Oregon, and USC or UW over those four. I think that we're going to be able to recruit really well, and I think people are going to be shocked one day in the next, maybe 2 to 5 years that maybe Oregon, Washington, or USC will win the Big Ten, and then Ohio State or Michigan will get second or third. It'll be an awesome conference, but I really wish that they didn't fuck with anything and the Pac-12 commissioner wasn't so greedy with money. But it is what it is. Nothing we can do about it now, and at least we're able to join the best conference in sports in the college level in the Big Ten, besides the Pac-12, of course. One thing, though, that it is going to hurt the Big Ten. It's going to hurt, fans like Sarah, fans like Iowa, Wisconsin, Michigan State, because normally you were able to finish in third, fourth, fifth below Ohio State and Michigan. But by now adding these four other Pac-12 teams, now you go further down. So now Iowa, Wisconsin, Michigan State, there's no chance for those teams to get the third, fourth, fifth, sixth, unless they have a really, really good year. It's probably going to end up going to USC, Oregon, or Washington. So, those five teams, Ohio State, Michigan, Oregon, USC, Washington, I assume those are going to be the top five. And then you're going to have to fight, for that sixth position with UCLA, Wisconsin, Michigan State, Iowa, and a few others. And I'm not saying that those other teams are going to be terrible, but I think even Sarah knows, and a lot of people that are fans of the Big Ten, if you're not a Michigan or Ohio State fan, you already know what it is. And now you're bringing in four quality teams from the Pac-12. It's going to be even harder to be able to establish yourself in that conference, but you never know. Every once in a while we'll have a really solid Wisconsin and Iowa team, and I'm looking forward to that. And Sarah got her coach fired, so at least you got somebody new coming in there pretty soon. So Penn State on top of that too. That's another team that I didn't mention. Yeah. So you got Ohio State, you got Michigan, you got Penn State, you got Oregon, you got Washington, you got USC, and then like I said, we're gonna at some point we're gonna have possibly. I'm not saying we will, but possibly 6 to 8 really good teams in the top 25. And it wouldn't really surprise me, out of like a 16-team power conference, if the Big Ten ends up having 8 in the top 25. Yeah, no shocker. I wouldn't be shocked one bit. I like the challenge as well. But I think Oregon is suited best, even over USC, UCLA, and Washington, because after Caleb goes, we know USC will recruit, but they don't really have a defense like Oregon, right, or Oregon State or Utah, even though our defense is still kind of in the works, right? But we know USC will be good. And then we have to see what Washington can come up with. They're not going to have another Michael Penix Jr. just waiting. Like Michael Penix Jr. is like once in a generation. Like once every 20 to 40 years, you get a Michael Penix Jr. You're not going to get another one next year. More than likely, I would be shocked. And if you do, it won't be a lefty as smooth as him. So, but I'm going to be excited about it. Bottom of the first, 0-0, 2-2 pitch. Fouled it off for Christian Walker. Any predictions for tonight's game? What do you guys think? You guys think it's over tonight, or the Diamondbacks fight really hard and they end up squeaking out a win? What's your guys' gut feeling saying? Rangers in 5, or are we going to get at least one more game? That's good. I mean, I try to be an inspiration on my end. You've seen how thin my face is starting to thin out with everything too. And like I said, it all started, when I was drinking pretty much every day. And I know, you were on that kind of level too. And like I said, I decided that, I need to make some positive changes, in my life. And so, not really doing the booze, not really doing the beer, not doing fast food. I should be drinking more water. I do energy drink, which is not necessarily the most healthiest thing for me, I know. And I do Snapple and a little water. But, I mean, other than that, I'm not really putting any fast food or anything in my body. And I have been dropping quite a bit. I've dropped 60 to 70 pounds since COVID. So I'm really proud of that, too. So, you just got to be able to keep it moving. Good for you. Look at that. You just got to keep it working. 28 to a 22, 22 to an 18, an 18 to a 14. Just like little short-term goals, And then not only that, you're going to feel better. You're going to look better. You're going to feel more healthier. You're going to have more energy. You'll have more of a glow, and like I said, then you won't have to necessarily eat until you can't move. You'll just eat until you get full because your stomach will shrink. And that's what happened with me as well. And so it's like you have this urge, to keep eating until you are full. But I've gotten to the point now where I've lost so much weight that it's like, I can eat to a certain point and I'm good. I don't need to eat anymore. So good for you. End of the first inning, we're still knotted up at 0. It's all about dedication. It's all about digging deep and doing things that most people aren't willing to do. You know, I know a lot of people aren't willing to cut out alcohol or beer or to start exercising like a madman like myself. And if you would have told me that I would be doing an hour to 2 hour every day, for forever, I would be like, I don't know. But Paisley is a big part of that. If I didn't have Paisley, there's no way in hell that I think I would be able to do this much. It's hard to get motivated to exercise or, like, let's say, go to the gym or go for a walk or a run by yourself. Even if you have music and everything, at some point it gets a little tough. It's like eat snacks and watch TV or go for an hour walk. I mean, I think most people would know what they want to do, right? Eat the snacks and watch a TV or movie or whatnot. But I've been very disciplined, and like I said, this is probably the best that I've felt in 20 years. Since my 20s. So and as long as you just keep working at it, you'll get more and more down to your goal. Big facts. Or I'm gonna check on the Amazon here, see if they have delivered yet. It's going to come in a big box with a couple tripods and stuff too. And then I should be good to go. Still not delivered. Oh, 5 stops away. Uh-oh, it's about to show up. Good to hear. I finally see the car on the tracker. Oh yeah. But again, me moving some of the lights and cleaning off my camera and cleaning off my computer with some baby wipes and just trying to get everything kind of suited and booted. It looks like it's, we'll see when the sun goes. Well, we don't even have sun, but we'll see when it gets dark. If the distortion starts coming, late in the stream like it was the last couple nights when my lights broke. But at least for now, everything looks crisp and sharp and good, and we'll see. So you think it's going to go? So you think the Diamondbacks are winning tonight? They're gonna. I mean, Corbin Carroll and Ketel Marte have to have. They're gonna have to have big games here. Someone's got a homer, and they're gonna have some big RBIs. And the magic number for the Diamondbacks is probably going to be 5. 7 to 10 hits, 5 runs, kind of like the Mariners were in that same position too. So I know I've been waiting and waiting and waiting. Just kind of sucked that I had to work really hard to try to get those donos, and the last thing I really wanted to do is spend it on something like that. But again, on the flip side, at least I had the donos from like Mr. Williams to be able to purchase that instead of being in a jam and not having any money to purchase them. So and it was something that I knew I was going to have to get, because originally I had 2, 1 broke, then I went down to 1, and then when that one broke, I'm using a backup light that we use kind of for like plants in the living room and whatnot. It's got a weird shape and design, and it's doing okay, but obviously getting the actual LED lights for the green screen is going to be the best for the streams moving forward. So, and I probably won't even use both at the same time. I'll probably just use one, so that way when one breaks, I'll still have another one. So as long as it provides enough light. So, but it's almost here. Top of the second, 0-0. Gallon on the mound, Mitch Garver in the box. One-two pitch. Big swing and a miss. Got him. All right, Gallon. Second K for Gallon. Let's give him some love. All right, Zach, I see you. Nice glasses, brother. Let's go. 2K so far. Yeah, I was really hoping that the lights would show up much sooner, but it is what it is. Anything going on in NBA or NHL? I want to take a quick peek. So Tannehill's out. Levis is going to start. No surprise. Raiders fired everyone. Good for them. Bobby Knight died. 2 away. Ooh, Steelers activate Hayward for the Titans. I thought he would be out for a few more weeks. That is a huge lift for the Steelers defense. So now they have TJ And then they obviously have Minka Fitzpatrick, and they have Cameron Hayward coming back finally after his injury at the beginning of the year. Good. That's going to make it harder for Levis, but still. Okay. I like that. Chopper. There we go. 1, 2, 3 inning. Let's go to the bottom of the second. And we got the Sabres and Flyers knotted up at 2 on TNT. Then we got Stars and Flames coming up soon in a couple minutes. Blues and Avalanche at 6:30, and then the Coyotes and the Ducks at 7. No Kraken until tomorrow. And then the Kraken play. Who do we play? Ooh, the Predators. Uh-oh. But we're at home though. We're 3-5-2 now. That's much better than where we were when we were like 1-3, 1-3-1. So, and then we obviously have Thursday night football, and this is the first time I've been excited about the Titans in 3 years. Will Levis is a nice surprise. It's about time we got someone coming out of nowhere that actually is kind of making a name for himself, because we all joked and kidded that, oh, he's garbage. It was like, oh, we like, even Malik has like moments, but everyone has already claimed like Malik is done. Malik is garbage. Like Trey Lance is garbage. Malik is garbage, even though we haven't got to really see enough of these guys yet. And we thought, well, Levis ain't going to be, if Malik can't make it, there's no way in hell Levis is going to make it, right? And then Levis goes out there and throws bombs, and, the coverage was a little suspect, but still they were able to connect. D-Hop with 3 tutties, and, Akine with 1. So I was like, oh, okay. You can't ignore that fact. And think about this. How many quarterbacks have thrown for 4 touchdown passes this season? Like less than a handful. So, that's something to keep an eye on. I tried to get him on the wire, but I was unsuccessful because obviously my struggles with Patrick Mahomes. But I did get Kyler Murray, and I figured, okay, Kyler Murray, they traded away Joshua Dobbs, and I think Dobbs might be able to do something with Minnesota, not only when Jay Jetta comes back, but with Hawkinson, and Addison emerging, right, as well as KJ Osborne and a few others. So, there might be a few quarterbacks that start to emerge, and maybe even Aiden on the Raiders to Devontae. Maybe that'll open up the passing game, and Devontae will actually be happy again. But I have some concerns about Mahomes, so I had to be able to pick up, Kyler Murray, and I got Najee just because, there's no one really else on the wire that I can pick up, and I needed a running back for next week. So I got Rashad White, Darrell Henderson, and Najee. And Najee sucks. I know, just, kind of like Jalen Warren, they're only going to get like 10 points. But hell, if I can get 10 points out of my RB2, that might end up being enough for me to win. So we'll see on how it goes. And I was looking, you might actually win 2 weeks in a row, And then I got Reflect next week, but he's got a lot of people on a bye, like Hurts and Kelsey. So I might be able to beat him, but he's not going to have Jalen Hurts. I'm not going to have Mahomes. So we'll see what happens there. But hopefully I can go on a nice 6-game win streak, and then I can finish off 12-2, and we'll see what happens. Now, I just got to get past this first week against Jerry, and if I can do that, then I might be able to beat Reflect and then keep it moving. How you doing? Keep it moving. But I don't like being projected for like 100 to 116. I'm normally projected for like, 130 to 140. So I need Montgomery and Jay Jetta to, get off the injury list. Yeah, I like Aiden too. I mean, I like Joshua Dobbs on the Vikings. I think that he'll do good. He's a good dual threat. He actually can run with his legs, so I think it'll help, the Vikings. It's better than Jameis, in my opinion. Three stops away. Ground ball right up the middle. Lourdes Gurriel Jr., I see you. Nice job, baby. Next up, center fielder Alec Thomas. Yeah, but I was trying to get Levis. I was like, oh man, but I already knew that I wasn't going to be able to grab him. I'm always 10th on the wire, so you got to think for me to be in first place, and most of the time, and I'm always last on the wire. I really have to work hard to try to find scraps that I think that are going to be good or that are just left, and then I try to make a super team out of what I can do. So But it's like I never have the opportunity to be first on the wire. I'm always 10th every week. So, but I find a way. Big swing and a miss. Chopped into the catcher's glove. 0-2 count. Not too bad about AR with the injury. And I'm starting Josh Downs. I'm starting him this week. I like being able to switch out my lineup too because I've made the most moves out of anybody. But I like to be able to put new people in to prove themselves so they can earn a spot on my team. And I don't have the same, 8 or 9 guys every week. I'm always mixing it up, giving guys opportunities to prove to me that they're the real deal. And I got Downs in the flex this week. So it was either him or Hollywood Brown, but if it's not going to be Kyler Murray at quarterback, I don't trust Hollywood Brown until next week. So, and then obviously Hollywood Brown's stats are going to go through the roof with Kyler, and like I said, I got Patrick Mahomes with a bye next week, so I'm hoping that Kyler will be good enough. If not, then I'll have to grab another quarterback and carry 3. And normally I don't do that, but with Mahomes, playing like shit, I need to be able to cover myself. Double play opportunity? Nope. Throw to first, 1 away. And I got so many pieces like not even available. Amon-Ra, Montgomery, Laporta, Sutton, all on a bye. Murray is out. Jay Jetta is injured, and I only could use Najee or Hollywood Brown on my bench this week. That's not good. I've already had a week where I had all my guys on a bye. Now I have another one, with all those Lions players. So, I mean, if I was playing one of the top dogs, I'd probably be taking a fat L. But, Longoria. Oh, what a diving catch. Safe. It's cool that they had Longoria in the lineup today because this could be possibly like the last game. He didn't start like yesterday, so I'm glad to see him in the lineup with him and Tommy Pham. So, but again, Corbin Carroll, Ketel Marte, they have to be the catalyst. It's going to be their big 2 versus the Rangers' big 2 of Seager and Simeon. Who's ever going to end up playing better out of those big 2? Is going to get it done. And also, we know the pitching is a little bit better for the Rangers, so. That was a big mistake by the manager for the Diamondbacks pulling, their pitcher Mantiply. It was too early. It ruined everything. The whole vibe and the whole, Uncle Mo was just destroyed early on. And then it was 10-0 after like the second inning. You already knew they weren't going to come back, even though they ended up putting up, 7 runs late, but still a little too late. Oh, I can't wait for these lights to show up. Where are you, lights? It's going to come in like a big briefcase type of thing. 1 stop away. Ooh, baby, they're getting close. Bottom of the second, we're knotted up at 0. 2 outs. Runner at second. 1-2 count. It is not 10-0. Thank God. I couldn't go through another 10-0 game. I mean, I love baseball and all, but when it's like that much of a difference, and it's already kind of a slow game, and if it's not your favorite teams that are playing, you're like, oh, like I get it, it's the World Series, but that was ridiculous yesterday. Like there was like 3 or 4 innings where we were just kind of like, all right, when's this game going to be over with? And I don't like to have that feeling in the World Series, but you got to give Texas credit; they're the real deal. Corey Seager is the new Mr. October. Better stats than Reggie Jackson, unbelievable. Yep, he will get 1,000. Both of them will. I don't lie when I tell, about, advice or who I've been watching. I told y'all who I was thinking about picking up. You got one of the players in Rice. I got the other one in Downs. And, I told y'all I was going to even use them if I got them. It's like, I don't have Jay Jetta available. And, yeah, I got Mike Evans and I got Keenan Allen. I'm on Raw on a bye. So it's going to be, Hollywood Brown if Kyler was playing. But if not, I got to have another receiver in there. So I'm excited to see what Downs does. And hopefully he gets in the end zone for me once, preferably twice. And if he can put up 20 for me, that would be great. But he is kind of hitting 11 to 15, and then once in a while 15 to 22. So I'll take that. Oh yeah, we were smart about that. I even gave Reflect. Could you imagine if I let Reflect, if Reflect would have listened to me and actually got him also with his like Hall of Fame squad? The good thing I decided to grab him because I wasn't going to let that go. And sometimes you got to be able to understand that rookies end up panning out. And Laporta has panned out more than Bajan. Who would have thought that? But sometimes you got to take a chance on a rookie running back, wide receiver, or tight end because if you don't, they might turn into a top 10 player, in the league as a rookie. Even though a lot of people think, they won't, and then they magically do. So yes, they are. Yes, they are. I should be able to win this week. He's got Bryce Young, Bajan, Zach Moss, Garrett Wilson, Olave, Njoku, Addison, Eagles D, and Bass. And he's got Fields, Kittle, Dallas, D, Michael Thomas, Tank Dell, Miles Sanders, Brock Purdy, and Aaron Rodgers. So he's got like three quarterbacks rostered, which is, but I guess he's just saving Aaron Rodgers, assuming that he's going to maybe make the playoffs. But if you don't get enough wins, you're not going to be able to get there. But and I got Mahomes, Rashad White, Daryl Henderson, Keenan Allen, Mike Evans, Mark Andrews, Josh Downs, Jets D, and Dustin Hopkins, number 2 kicker. And then that should be hopefully good enough. And then Amon Ra, Montgomery, Laporta, Cortland Sutton, all on a bye. Jay Jetta injured. And obviously Kyler not able to play yet. And then I have only Najee and Hollywood available to swap in. So I feel pretty firm with my lineup right now. Yeah, let's go, baby. World Series, baby. No one saw Puka coming though. Like anyone's like, oh, I knew that was going to happen. Straight lies. No one on planet Earth could have imagined that that was going to happen. I get it. Like Cooper Cup was going to be out, but I mean, most of us thought that maybe Stafford was going to have a noodle arm. And they were going to be one of the worst 10 teams, maybe bottom 5, bottom 10. I don't think anyone thought that Stafford would look similar to what he looked like in his Super Bowl year, at least for that first month. Throwing the football, and that's what kind of shocked everybody. So yeah, but Puka's stats have kind of been up and down now, since that first month. Like one good week, one okay week, one good week, one okay week. So I think my lights got delivered here. I'm gonna have to go grab it. Did okay? I got my lights showed up. So give me a sec. I'm gonna go grab my lights here real quick. All right, my lights came. The lights are here. I won't worry about it until we get a little bit further along if we have any distortion or anything. So 2 away. What's up, Paisley? Throw to first. Got him. Very low scoring. Good pitching tonight. I was just about to say that too. Next up for the Diamondbacks, leading off right fielder Corbin Carroll. Batting second baseman Ketel Marte. And batting third this inning, catcher Gabriel Moreno. Go. LG in the building. What's good? Yeah. Well, we can't have an embarrassment like we did yesterday. I mean, like I said, it's cool to be able to get like hits and runs, but when it gets to be 10-0 in the World Series, that's ridiculous. Like, you know, like we want to make sure that the games are at least somewhat close. You know, I guess unless you're a Ranger fan alone, you're loving it. You know, you're like, yes, we'll just beat their ass over and over and over. But anyone else, not even just Diamondback fans, but just any other fan of any other team, when you see 10-0 in the second inning, like that, you already know you're going to be in for a long night, you know. And it was nice that they kept fighting at the end of the game, and they got like 7 runs in the 8th and the 9th. Just imagine if they were only down a couple. Like if they were down 5-0, maybe they would have been able to come back and win, you know, in that scenario. But when you give up 5 runs and another 5 runs, that's tough. All right, I got to take a look at some of the scores in the NBA and the NHL. All right, what do we got? We got Sabres and Flyers knotted up at 2. Stars and Flames just started. I might have to put that Stars game on, LG. I might have to watch that with you. We got Blues and Avalanche coming up, and then Coyotes and the Ducks. And then let's take a look at the Blazers. Hopefully they're not getting obliterated by the Pistons. All right, we're down by 3. That's pretty much the story of all game. And we got 11 minutes left in the fourth quarter, 88-85. Let's go, Rip City. And then we got Raptors beating the brakes off the Bucks. That's surprising, 83-64. Maybe Dame and Giannis are having an off game or in foul trouble. I'll have to look. Hawks 59, Wizards 51. Celtics beating the Pacers' ass, 75-54. 56-46, Heat up on the Nets. 50-49, Knicks up on the Cavs. 51-43, Thunder up on the Pellies. And then we got 50-35, Rockets up on the Hornets. Nuggets down by 10 to the T-Wolves, 42-32. Mavs up 10-7 on the Bulls. And then coming up in about 12 minutes, we're going to have Grizzlies, Jazz. And then the late games tonight at 7, Kings, Warriors. That'll be a hell of a game. And then Clippers, Lakers. That'll be a hell of a game too. So I'm interested to see what this James Harden is going to look like. You got Russell Westbrook and Harden, former teammates, you know, obviously playing at Houston together, Thunder together, now the Clippers together. You know, and they already have PG and Kawhi, so the Clippers are looking pretty good. But can they put it all together, though? Corbin Carroll, baby. There it is. Yes, sir. Nice job, Corbin. Next up, second baseman, Ketel Marte. Go, baby. Yeah, you don't want to pull your guy to. I don't know. That strategy is like okay if you're doing like Cactus League or if you're just doing like a regular season matchup. You know what I mean? But like, don't pull the guy out an inning or two. I mean, he probably was going to get rocked anyways. You know what I mean? But 2-0, you might have well waited until it got to be like 3 or 4-0, then pull them. But don't pull them at 2. Because then 2 ended up being 5, and then 5 turned into 10 real quick. And then it fucked up the whole flow of the game afterwards. All right, let's see if Marte can get a hit here. Eovaldi wheeling and dealing. Let's throw an Eovaldi photo up. Gang, gang, gang. I see you. Let's go, Nathan. Show me. Pitch is low. Throw to first. Safe. Bottom of the third, 0-0. Rangers and Diamondbacks. Game number 5. Not as embarrassing of a game as we saw in game number 4. And it's a pitching duel. I love that. I do want to have some hits and home runs for some excitement and some memories. But I like defense. I like pitching. I like catchers. I like to be able to see some strategy. But again, I just need to see it safe at second. I just need to be able to see a quality game with the pitching. Like, I feel for me, like the best kind of games, or it's like when you have amazing pitching on both sides, through 6 innings. And then it's just a race for the last 3. And then you end up finishing the game out with like a 5-4 win. To me, that's perfect because you get enough hits and runs and possible home runs, but also you had really good pitching. Maybe a 0-0, 1-0, or 1-1 game going into the 6th or 7th inning, and then you don't really know what's going to happen after that. To me, that's the perfect type of game. Like a 6-5 kind of game, 5-4, where it's more than just a run or 2. I want moments in multiple innings, not just 1 inning, and that's the whole shebang, Yeah, we're going to see. And hopefully we'll get some goats to come through, and we can, hopefully hit the goal. We get a dono train started. Figured we'd have more people kind of come through. I mean, there's not really a whole lot going on. I mean, like I said, I guess some people just don't give a shit about these 2 teams. Some Mariner fans that were a part of our Mariner streams don't give a shit really about these teams. I get it, but I mean, we only have NBA and NHL, regular season games going on. So, I mean, I'm going to be a part of history. It's just a matter of if you want to join me or not. So, because everyone else is just going to be able to see on their feed after if it's over, either the celebration or, we're going to go to game 6. But I like to be able to watch sports while it's happening, not just look on my Twitter, X, Instagram, Facebook, timeline after the fact. Throw to first. Got him. 1 away. One 0 count from Eovaldi to Christian Walker. Bottom of the third. Runners at second and third. 1 away. 2-0 count. Could end up getting a run scored here. Very possible. Could end up being a 1-0, 2-0 lead here. Drop foul. Free agency starts 5 days after the World Series. That's nice. We don't have to wait too long. Goats, where are you? Man, your boy grinds every single day. Chop foul. Bottom of the third. Runners at second and third. 2-2 count, one out. Walker in the box. Eovaldi on the mound. Chop foul. Well, at the end of the day, we know who supports us and who appreciates us and who takes us for granted. So 2-2 pitch. Big swing and a miss. Got him. Eovaldi, nice strikeout. Nice job, Nathan. That was slick. Smoked him. Right down the middle, too. It's either going to be a home run or a strikeout. Nice job, Eovaldi. I see you. Tommy Pham. Seager, throw to first. Got him. Leaves two runners stranded. Great defense by the Rangers. All right, Corey, I see you. Seager worth every fucking penny, man. Especially this run that he's been having. He's definitely turning into a superstar now. He was really considered like a very good player, but now, superstar. Same thing with Corbin Carroll. That's kind of nice. We've had two guys emerge. Well, actually, probably more than two, four. Ketel Marte is now considered a good player instead of an unknown player. Corbin Carroll is a superstar. And then we have Corey Seager and Adolis Garcia being superstars now as well. Trying to get into these lights. Get him. Wow. One away. All right, top of the fourth, knotted up at 0, 2 away. Evan Carter in the box. Both pitchers are doing a great job. Nathan Eovaldi and Zach Gallen. Thank God we're not having another 10-0 game. Got him. Thing's pretty cool. Everything is adjustable. All right. I might try to just plug this in. Starting to get a little dark out there, so it just sucks because like the wire right on the light that comes out, it's like so thin. If you adjust it a lot, um, then it'll get frayed and then it's like snaps. And once it snaps, it's done. So all right, give me a sec here. All right. Wow, that thing is bright. They have like multiple levels on it, but I just got one light plugged in. And I don't think we're gonna have any issues now. I just gotta adjust it, probably pull it back a little bit since it's so fucking bright. Here, hold up. There's like fucking 10 settings on there. Hold on. All right, dimmed it down a little bit, and I'll have to kind of play around with it to see like how many settings I need. But I think we're good now. Awesome. I might even turn it down another notch. Hold on. Popped up. There we go. All right, I think we're good now. Now I feel really good about things. Like I got the light. I'll have to reposition some things, and I got two. So if one craps out, I'm not going to use both at the same time. I'll just um, they're super bright. There's like 10 settings. Like I can click on it where it goes one, two. Like there's like many settings. So it's like I got to make sure it's like behind me, like kind of towards my window, because the closer it is to my face, then it's gonna like have my face like shining and whatnot. So I got to find that right balance on how far to push it back. I got it on the tripod as high as it'll go, and then like I said, I feel at this point it's not too bright and it's not too dim. I could probably even turn it down another notch, but I thought I was gonna have to turn it up full blast, for the green screen. But I feel that we won't have any issues now moving forward, and awesome. Everything worked out. It just took an extra day. So, but the main thing is I don't really care about my face. It's really, I care about the green screen not being distorted at all. So, and I might even kind of click it down a peg. Hold on. All right, I think we're good to go. I turned it down. Like now it's on like I don't know what it's on, level 2 out of like 10. This thing, it gets super bright with these LEDs now. I mean, obviously they make them specifically for people that do YouTube, Twitch, and do photography and things like that. So, a guy in the building, Raiders. Dude, I'd be ecstatic, man. You got Aiden going to start, right? No more Jimmy G the rest of the year. You cleaned house. You got rid of the coach. You got rid of the GM. You got rid of the OC. So, I mean, obviously doing it mid-season is a little, a little shocking. But, I mean, the fans, I mean, hell, even the non-Raider fans were like, yes, get this shit over with, right? Imagine if you had to go through another year, another half season with that. So I actually really love the move. And that way we can actually evaluate Aiden properly to see if he actually has a chance to be the starter or the backup, or if he'll just be a backup quarterback and then you'll draft one or bring in a free agent to compete with him. And then at some point just get rid of Jimmy G. He's not even worth being a backup. Just get rid of him. Some guys are made to be, head coaches, and some guys are just coordinators. And obviously, McDaniels is not a head coach. He does not have leadership. And on top of that, the same things that he struggled with the Denver Broncos with Tebow, the same type of non-leadership issues, and questionable calls are following him. He'll never be a head coach ever again. Like his best bet is probably going to college and trying to remake his name for himself. Go, go, go. But even in college, I don't know who would hire him, someone that's hella desperate. So, Yeah, obviously it's not. It's gonna be like a Jeff Saturday thing where it's just temporary until they find someone. So, but it really will. It has to be the right person. You know what I mean? It has to be that right type of personality to lead that team. It just can't be anybody. Yeah, I understand that. The OC, that was probably the one piece that you might have been able to keep. You know what I mean? But if they're going to clean house, just let them clean house. You already were going to lose a lot of games this year, anyways. So yeah, you're going to have someone inexperienced in there. But if he felt that it was just better to clean house with the OC, the GM, and the head coach and start brand new, you can't blame the guy for that. Probably one of the best moves that they've made. In quite a while, and they'll eventually get it right. But this season's pretty much a wash anyway. You're just going to evaluate the players to see who actually wants to be there and who doesn't. And then you can move forward trying to build the team the right way next year, you know? And then that way you can try to, compete, with the Broncos and the Chargers and try to get second place behind the Chiefs. That's ultimately the goal, to leapfrog the Chargers and the Broncos and be the number 2 team in the AFC West. So, chop foul. Feel so much better now with the light finally showing up. Perfect. Bottom of the fourth, 2-2 pitch. Pitch is high and outside. 3-2 count. Diamondbacks have been able to get some guys on base, but the Rangers defense has been great, leaving them stranded. But that's a good sign for the Diamondbacks that they're not just getting ripped apart and not have any opportunities for guys to get on base. I mean, if they actually want to try to win this game, got him, Eovaldi, baby. Let's go. Let's go, baby. Nice job. Got him. All right. Crazy. I even turned this thing down. It's so bright that even I have it on like level 1, level 2, and it looks like that's still good enough. So, I mean, I know it's not going to burn out anytime soon. It's going to last a long time, but it's a good feeling finally. And I won't have to use both, so I can just use one, and then if that one breaks, then boom, got another one. So I should be good with lighting now for quite a while until my umbrella light goes out, and then when that goes out, then I'll have to buy another one of those, but hopefully that won't happen anytime soon. Goats, where are you? Hour and 15 minutes in. Yeah, that would be good. 3 hits for the Diamondbacks, 0 for the Rangers. So, I mean, we are talking about Uvalde and how great he is and whatnot, but we got to give Zach Gallen some credit too, right? Like, no, we're not even talking about him. And like I said, he hasn't even given up a hit yet. So to, go from where they were yesterday to, where they're at today, okay, man, I see you. We got to make sure we're giving, even love here. I don't know if anyone anticipated both guys doing this good in this matchup. I mean, on paper, it looked like there was a chance, but after, you go from, a 10-7 type of game and it was 10-0 after 2 innings, I'm a little surprised. I figured that we'd have at least a run or two, by the Rangers or Diamondbacks or both by this point, but it's a pitching duel. It's like we had the hitting duel, yesterday, obviously late for the Diamondbacks in the 8th and the 9th inning, but first 2 innings, 10 runs for the Texas Rangers. Let's do that. All we need is one person to start it off. It's been raining all day, so gonna have to find some time to be able to get out there and still go on a walk with Paisley, get that exercise, as long as we're not getting poured on. Chop foul. Mitch Garver 0 for 1. Gallen 40 pitches in. Pitching lights out. 2-2 pitch. Chop foul again. Four-seam fastball. Well, the Chargers and the Broncos, I mean, they're not very good. You know what I mean? Like the Broncos, you don't even have to worry about them, right? And then the Chargers are probably one of the more overrated teams in football. They have a lot of names, but they always choke based off bad coaching, bad play calling, and the injury curse. So, I mean, if you can just get right, it would be easy to be able to get second place over, the Broncos and Chargers. You just got to be able to get that team situated right with the right coaching and the right players on the O line and that defense, and everything will fall into place. Popped up, all the way back to the warning track. One away. I mean, it's not like you're going to be able to beat the Chiefs, but I mean, if you can get a wild card and get to 10 wins and go 10-7 in 1 to 3 years, I mean, that should be the goal. So, I mean, AFC West is not the greatest division. Pitch just outside. 1-0 count. 3 strikeouts, 7 groundouts, 3 flyouts for Zach Gallen. We already know the hits and the runs are going to come after the starting pitching goes out. Once the starting pitching goes out, brand new ball game, just like it is in the regular season, and then we'll go from there. Nice. Blazers are going to win. Hell yeah. Top of the 5th, knotted up at 0, pitching duel, 1 out, 1-2 count. Gallen and Eovaldi rocking and rolling. World Series game number 5. I mean, even though the Rangers are definitely in firm control in this World Series, it kind of feels like the momentum is with the Diamondbacks, at least so far up to this point. Once the starting pitching goes out, then we'll kind of see how it all plays out. But it just feels like the momentum is on the cusp, on going from one team to another. But kind of feels like at the moment it's with the Diamondbacks. Over the shoulder catch. I mean, obviously the crowd is into it. Not like yesterday when they started cheering in the 8th inning, a little too late, but they still got 7 runs. So that momentum, carrying over from, yesterday in those really good last 2 innings. So Rip City, baby. I appreciate you, man. Yeah, like I said, it's all about having people come through consistently, support, and and if people can donate, great. But if not, come through and like the stream, share the stream, come in and chat for a little bit. Everything takes effort on everyone's end for everything to kind of come together, and I appreciate you, man. I mean, like I said, just getting more goats. We had about 10 last year. Now it seems like sometimes we'll have a few of them in the room at the same time, but a lot of times, there may be none, maybe one, sometimes a couple. But I do appreciate you. You're an OG, and things will get better. Like I said, we're too good on this channel. Like, if the tube wants to hate, they can hate all they want, but again, I'm not quitting. I'm still going, and eventually I'll hit the algorithm. I'll have the right collab. I'll have the right video or the right stream that goes viral. Something, eventually good is going to happen. The only way that things don't end up, achieving to my final goals is if I quit. So if I quit, then, obviously you're not going to be able to get to that point. But as long as I keep going, we got too many, amazing people that are a part of this NWSF family. So I'm not worried about it. But again, it definitely is concerning, sometimes. But, it is what it is. Thank you so much, man. $5 holla. Appreciate you. Bang, bang, bang. Boom, boom, boom. Bang, bang. $5 holla. And plus, most people that do sports, they're not streaming every day either. So, again, there's not a lot of people that are going to grind it out like me, working pretty much every day for 3 months. And the only day that I've had off is going to the Duck game, and I got gifted tickets, by Mo Gumbo to go to that. If he didn't do that for me, then I would have had no days off in like 3 months. So appreciate you, man. I do too. I mean, like I said, I have faith in my own abilities. Like I said, I mean, you got to think if the EA Sports and the big major networks and channels and the famous people that are doing sports are actually copying my shit and following me and watching me and stealing my material, obviously I'm doing something good. I'm not at 50,000 or 100,000 or 300,000 subs, but like I'm on the cusp of kind of breaking out. I'm at 20, on the cusp of getting to maybe 25 or 30, 30 to 35, 40. I mean, it's going to take a while, unless the sports gods want to bless me in somehow, some way. If we have like a professional athlete or some kind of rapper or singer that shouts me out or hops in the stream or shouts me up on social media or something, and then their fan base ends up, coming here, and then we have a big jump in the sub count or whatnot, or maybe some goats that are heavy hitters that want to support me in my dreams and whatnot. But it's just a matter of time. I've been doing this for 11 years. 7 years on YouTube. I predicted it would take me 10 to go full time. It did. But technically, I'm only on year 7 on YouTube. I've been recording for 11 years, but this is only my 7th year. We're coming up on year number 8. So technically, 10 years is still 3 years away. So hopefully, and at that point, once I'm on year 10 on YouTube, then I'll be year 14 of recording. So, I mean, I got faith in the GOATs, and I got faith on some newbies, coming through and emerging to be a heavy hitter for us to replace some of the other people that have fallen off. And like I said, as far as not being biased, sports knowledge, wrestling knowledge, and just, not being biased and just having somewhere where we can vibe and hang out and obviously learn something and learn stuff from each other. I mean, I don't think there's really that many channels out there that have the same dynamic as what we got here. So, we already know who the OGs are, the ones that are loyal to the soil. They're the ones that keep coming back. They're the ones that donate. They're the ones that, share. They're the ones that comment. They're the ones that support through and through. I mean, there's a lot of sports, channels that are on TV, podcasts, or on Twitch or YouTube that really aren't that good. So I definitely feel that we have one of the top 5 sports and wrestling channels, on social media. It's just a matter of getting our subs up, to the other 4 that have more than me. So I don't think that they're better than me. I don't think that they have better fans than what we have here. It's just a matter of getting the right eyeballs that are, subs to those other channels. And if they actually come here, I guarantee if you ended up getting, out of like the people that have more subs than me, if you ended up getting their fan base coming to this channel, right, you would probably get 30%, 35% of that fan base that would sub to this channel as well. You're not going to get every person, to sub. They're going to be loyal to their favorites and whatnot. But if we ever get an opportunity to kind of just be shown in front, of these, other people that are committed to this other guy or these other people, I definitely think that we could easily get, 30, 35% of a fan base, especially, if they like sports, because we're going to give a different type of vibe, a different look to what they're actually receiving right now from their favorite channel. So Nilly in the building. What's good? Keep your head up, Nilly. Yeah, but we'll be good. Like I said, because you got to think, based on the amount of people that sometimes that we have. Sometimes we'll have a lot of people, throughout the room. Sometimes it'll be a little minimal. But like I said, you can definitely tell with the support. Even though the support isn't as good as it was last year overall, if we weren't a quality or a good channel, you wouldn't be getting, $50 donos, $100 donos, $500 days, or getting a dono for 1,300. Like if the channel sucked ass and we weren't good, you would never be able to have a donation like that from anybody. Period. People wouldn't donate, people wouldn't show up, people wouldn't watch. It just, there's a lot of channels out there that, they're just, they're all right. So yeah, I mean, like I said, like I said, the more people, the more eyeballs that we get shown, right? That means I get more donos, and if I get more donos, that means they make more money off me. So it's kind of silly to try to blackball me or to try to like make it harder for me to be able to grow. Because honestly, I feel that we could make just as much on the dono side and get just as much, support as the big boys if we just got a fair opportunity. I honestly feel that we could actually make more subs and more donos than those other channels if we had the same type of people in the room. I think that we could make more on the dono side than any other sport channel that's out there. It's just a matter of getting the right people in the room at the right time. So Carol pops up. Plus, also too, with a lot of the other channels that are out there, they don't have the ability to do everything like we do here. That's one thing that'll separate me from everyone else. Like we can do basketball, baseball, football, hockey, UFC, boxing, college hoops. It doesn't matter. Like there's enough reading and film study that goes on that I'm not going to be lost or not know what I'm talking about. Like we're very well prepared here, probably more well prepared, than any other channel. Honestly, it's just a matter of getting the support and getting the right people at the right time. So. What do you want to do for a photo, guy? But again, hitting the algorithm and helping me out, like I said, all it's going to do is make them more money. More people come here, more money they make. So it would make sense, if we have talent and drive and passion and energy and we're really good, why are you holding us back? Doesn't make any sense. But again, I'd rather be a good channel than just be like fake and fugazi and just be popular. You know what I mean? NASCAR as well. Yep. I mean, like, there's no other channel on YouTube or on planet Earth that has the depth as us. Period. There just isn't. And that takes a lot of commitment from the people in the room, like you guys, as well as myself. But like I said, I've never gotten to a situation where I feel like, oh, I don't know if I can do this. Obviously, doing like NHL and NASCAR was challenging at first, But again, the more you read and the more you care, the more work you put in, the easier it becomes. So, but it definitely shows you, like, if you're a heavy hitter or you're a goat or you're a mod and you don't show up, right, you're hurting the channel. Especially when we're not, breaking out where we have like 1,000 people in the room yet or 100 people regularly in the room. So it's like every single person matters. And then when you get people that are just say fuck it, and then they just decide not to come, it's like they think, well, if I can't donate, I don't want to show up. But the thing is you're hurting the channel by not showing up. Even just based off the conversations alone, the likes, the shares, sharing on your other socials, helping us trying to grow. And I don't think a lot of the people realize that, by people not showing up, it's like, I don't need people to show up for fucking 3-4 hours every day. But I mean, how much effort does it really take to show up for a couple minutes, say what's up to everyone in the room, and then dip? I mean, does that really take a lot of effort? Everyone has time and to make effort. It's like, oh, I don't got time. It's bullshit. Everyone's got time. You got time to make a phone call. You got time to do a text message. You got time to hit the fucking thumbs up or a heart on a post. You got time to be able to do it. You just choose not to. That's really where it comes to. So, Jacoby Myers, Rada photos. Good choice. Plus, also, too, if I was able to do reaction videos in the last 2 years until just now, we would have been well over 20,000 a few years ago. Maybe we would be at like 21 or 22 by now, something like that. So, well, it was in the beginning, and then they started hating, So it's like in the first year I was doing it, I was getting good views, like maybe 1,000 to like 4,000 views on most of the streams, and then I was doing it again, and then people weren't ending, people weren't showing up, and we weren't getting into the algorithm. So like we had Mike, but I don't know if Mike passed away. Like we haven't heard from Mike or Jameson like in a long time. So I know Mike was getting up there in age. Mike was like 90. I don't think a lot of y'all recognize that. That Mike was like 90 years old and he was coming through and showing up and donating and commenting and being an OG. And then Jameson, we haven't heard from him and since like preseason. I don't think anyone's heard from him. And I know he was going through some health stuff, so a little unusual for Jameson not to be here and at least show up or message me at all. And then we had Nate the Great, pass away, to cancer, and that wasn't good. And then we've had a few other people like Holly and a few others that just haven't shown up. So, hopefully things will get better. But, it shows you, even just one person, can make a difference, like Holly herself, big, big difference, when you're here or when you're not here, and obviously people are going through different things, mental health and whatnot. But, I would kind of hope that, with all the love that we've shown back and forth, that, even if things are tough, we can make it a little bit better. It's not like I give away Mitchell and Ness jerseys just to anybody. It's like if you do something nice for me and then I go out of my way to do something nice for you, how many YouTube streamers actually give back on that level? Not many. Like, like maybe 1%. It's like a lot of these people, they just care about money. And even if they get big $500 donos, $1,000 donos, like, they're not giving back Mitchell and Ness jerseys. Maybe they'll shoot someone like a fucking t-shirt or some pencils, some bullshit or whatever. But, so that part is a little disappointing, and whatnot. So, but that's what I enjoy to do. I like to be able to give back on the highest level. If you're going to, if you're going to me and you're going to be able to, support me to the fullest, I'm going to support back. Someone donates $500, shit, I'll probably end up giving you back 200 and buying you a jersey. Like, how many fucking streamers do that? Nobody does, unless you're someone like Mr. Beast, but that's a whole nother level. He can afford, for tax write-offs and all this other shit to, give away this and give away that, But as far as like sports streamers, most sports streamers or wrestling streamers don't really take care of their fans as much as they should, or their mods. A lot of the mods go unrecognized. They are undervalued, underappreciated. They don't get acknowledgement or a good job or kudos or gifts for all the hard work they do. It's a big ego thing for a lot of these, Twitch and YouTube streamers that think they're just bigger than everyone else. And they might have big numbers, but again, it's just up to the people to decide if this is someone I really want to support or if they're just acting like they care, but they really don't. They care about themselves. Yeah, but I'm hoping that we can turn some shit around. But I know eventually good things will happen. Because I mean, EA Sports watches, Madden watches, Good Morning Football watches, Schrager watches, Pat McAfee. Like, you're getting people. They know who I am. Based off my reaction videos and the streams. So we just got to keep grinding away, so that way we can just keep climbing the ladder. Everyone's going to have their moment. Our moment will end up happening at some point. We're way too talented as far as a group, to not be able to make it to the top of the mountain. We'll climb Everest together. Bases loaded. Yeah, and I don't think people realize, like I said, when they're not here, even if you can't donate, you're hurting the channel by not being here. Because a lot of times people want to interact with those people in the room. Like the people that are a part of the room and the subs and the mods and the goats, they're just as important to any channel as the host. Like, I don't think some people realize that. Bases loaded. Yeah, and I always like learning, from new people too. Half the fan base is under 40, and the other half is over 40. And back in the day, everyone, my main niche was normally like 18 to like 34 in the beginning. And then we were able to get more of the older audience as well. So it's nice to be able to vibe with different people, different race, different age, different location. Some people in the United States, some people outside, like Megan in Australia. Got him. Wow, leaving the bases loaded for Eovaldi. Now, Facebook, a lot of times people on Facebook, they don't support because people on Facebook want to see pictures of dogs and cats, and then they flood it with their baby pictures and kids and people going on trips and going to concerts. Like for me, what I'm doing, like when I first started the channel, I was doing Facebook and different platforms before YouTube, but a lot of times people are haters. Even people that you think that you're your friends, they don't support. They don't share. It's like very rare where you'll have someone like rooting for you. Like Marcos really is the only one in Oregon that watches all my shit, shares my shit like on a regular basis. So it's like, if you're not going to get, I got the biggest sports channel in Oregon, but a lot of people don't give a shit. They're not supporting me. They're hating, like wishing it was them or hoping on my downfall, and whatnot. So even though that's, one small goal, eventually I want to be the biggest channel in the Pacific Northwest, Oregon and Washington, then Oregon, Washington, California, and kind of, move up the chain. But Facebook people don't give a shit. Instagram people, they don't really give a shit either. Like I said, if I was a girl and and I was doing some like shady photos and whatnot, and showing off my body and whatever, yeah, like I said, anyone can get Instagram or Facebook followers, especially if you're a good-looking girl. But when you're doing a thing like for like Twitch, or if you're doing something on YouTube, you don't really get a whole lot of support, on those platforms. And the way that Twitter and X is built, it's a bunch of bots now. Like like the last like 50 people that have followed me, I think I have like 2 people that are real, and then the other 48 are bots. And I can tell that they're bots because when I look at the profile when they follow me, and I'm looking at the names, it's like Ula Duffin 2713, Maddie Olson, and then it's got like a bunch of numbers afterwards. And then you look at their like sub count, and it's following 4,000, and they have like 40 followers. And if it's like a good looking girl, you already know it's just a bot. There's no good looking girl that's going to have 40 people that she follows, and then she's following 4,000. It's usually the other way around. So it's like bot. Like I think like the last 50 to 100 that I have, I might have 5 real people and 95 bots. So, like I said, and I'm streaming obviously on Twitter X as well. So that's where you'll get the celebrities and you'll get the social media teams that spy. If they don't want to come in on the YouTube side, they can just watch there. They can't comment or donate just yet, but eventually Twitter X will implement that. But, it is what it is. Yeah, hard fought battle. But it's cool, like for me, because I like helping people. Um, and like I said, even with like Rooftop, Rooftop only had a few hundred subs, and he was asking for help, and I could have just been a dick and been like, no, go watch a fucking YouTube tutorial video. This is not my job to be able to help someone else out, regardless of what your sub count is at. And that's where a lot of people are at. Like, oh, I don't want this person piggybacking off my success and all my hard work, but I'd rather help people. That's kind of like a goal of mine just in my life. Like helping people in life is like the biggest joy that I get. To be able to help someone get on their feet or to go to another level that they thought they couldn't get to. So, oh, the bots are even worse than it was when it was Twitter. When it was Twitter, they were here and there, but now with X, it's just ridiculous. So it's like between Facebook and X and YouTube, I mean, I have, probably what, 24,000, 25,000 or something with everything combined. But I don't know. I think just nowadays it's just kind of like kind of like the hater mentality. They see people doing something, good, whether it's like social media or whatever, they built something from the ground up. A lot of people, even though you think they're your friends, they're like, oh, I could do that. It's like, oh, that's cool. As long as you're not doing better than me. That's kind of the attitude that you get from a lot of people, that they just don't want to like or share something unless they really love you and really want you to win. That's why I deleted like 300 people on my Facebook. I had like 500, and I whittled it down to like 195. I'm at like 196 now and whatnot. But again, there'll be plenty of times where I'll do posts and I won't even get one person that'll even support. So, it is what it is. You just got to be able to find the right people. And sometimes, you find one person and that one person can make a difference. So, Brittany in the building. Brittany, how are you? Patriots in the building. Chase Elliott in the building. Brittany in the building. How are you? How is your son? Your son has some teeth that got extracted. He cannot eat candy for the next couple weeks. Yes, you come up on my timeline and I pay attention. How are you? I missed you. We need to get more females on the channel too. We had it all the way up to 15%, 85% dudes, 15% female. And then we're all the way down to like 4 or 5% again. So hopefully we can increase that, as we get into the end of the year and then we go into next year. He's miserable, I bet. What are his favorite candies? Is he like gummy bears, gummy worms, Starburst, Skittles? So he likes like the sweet and the sour rather than the chocolate. So he's probably like, this sucks. Or is he more of like a chocolate kind of kid? Like a Snickers, Milky Way, Butterfinger, Nestle Crunch, that kind of thing. I think most kids and adults nowadays, it's more of like the sweet and sour and the gummy candy is kind of where more people are at. Unless you're like an OG and you love the chocolate and whatnot. So two little twofers extracted. Skittles. See, I knew it. And I have ESP. I don't know why I know that, but I just, it's not like I ever, have met your son or have talked to him about favorite candy and whatnot. But I figured that, I figured he'd be kind of like me, like Skittles, that type of candy. It's kind of funny. I actually got Paisley groomed, and at the dog groomer, we don't have a lot of candy in the house, and I don't really drink a whole lot anymore. But I ended up grabbing a couple of those miniature bags of Skittles, and that definitely hit the spot, especially when you don't have, a sweet tooth all the time. But sometimes just having like that bag, I'm a sucker for like the sweet and the sour, so gummy bears, gummy worms, and also let me see. I'm trying to look at all the sweet. Oh, Sour Patch Kids. Fucking, I'm a sucker for those. Sour Patch Kids and the Sour Patch watermelon half slices. Oh, golly. Anything like that. Yeah, I mean, that's a done deal. Kit Kat. Ooh, that's a good one. See, I'm more of a payday kind of guy. I like that type of style. Like Snickers, I'd rather go ice cream Snickers than regular Snickers. But Snickers once in a while is good for like Halloween candy in general. But I'm more of a payday guy myself. But even with that, I don't eat it very often. Got him! Gallon going off. Aiken back in the building. How are you? Is your first name Amber? I was gonna say, anytime I end up looking at names, I'm usually not going to be ESP on everything. But when I saw your profile name, the first thing that I thought of, and your first name might not be Amber, it may not be, but that was the first thing that came up in my mind. But glad that you're back. Pink Starburst, yes. But again, like I said, once we get like more females in the room and then the females, and this is like one of the only YouTube chats I feel where females can get along with other females and it's not going to be catty. When you go to another channel, and where it's going to be dominated by a bunch of dudes and a lot of them are fucking stupid, or they're trying to hit on the women the whole entire time instead of just like, watching the game or talking sports. So that's one thing that I'm proud of, that I've eliminated a lot of the trolls and a lot of the toxic people. We would probably be sitting right now at like 22,000 subs, somewhere around there. But I've had to boot out hundreds, for the mental health sake of the people that are important to me in the room. So you forgot about Halloween. You're like, oh, we need to get these teeth. And he's like, it's Halloween, Mom. And you're like, oh, shit. He'll be okay, though. I mean, he's got the two little twofers that got extracted, but your son will be able to, he'll probably have to wait getting a little bit closer to the Thanksgiving, but it'll be well worth the wait for him. Anna. Oh, I missed it. I was thinking, okay, Amber, Anna. I was thinking, okay, well, obviously, I figured the A was your first name, so I didn't get it right on Amber, but I did get Anna. There we go. Okay. Yeah, that's time to get the Halloween candy is obviously to get it, at this point. Let me get some photos here. I've been slacking on for A guy. Let me get some Rada photos for you. I haven't forgot, bro. But I think that one thing that I'm proudest the most, just besides my work ethic and my drive, to be able to not be biased, but also, just to be able to, have a place where everyone feels that they can belong, and that's a pretty rare thing nowadays. I mean, I miss, at the end of streams when we used to be able to do like food, or whatever we decided to do after the stream was over. And, usually we would stay for another 30 or an hour and, we could do whatever we wanted, wrestlers, food, old school baseball, basketball, football, hockey players. I mean, it's pretty much whatever we wanted to do at the time. So, well, a lot of these Jacoby Meyer photos are not transferring over, which is unfortunate, but I went through 6 now, and none of them are going over. But I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep seeing. All right, here finally we got one. 1 out of 7. Out of play. Both teams getting close, but no runs yet. Wow, that's crazy. Out of 10 photos, only 2 formatted. That might be a record. I don't know what they have against Jacoby Myers. He's a stud. All right, let's throw these ones up. Hold up here. All right, bottom of the 6, still knotted up at 0. Eovaldi and Gallen are just balling out of control. Lack of support. I know what that feels like. Let's go. At least the ones that I was able to get were cool. I'll try to get a few more for you. Appreciate you, A guy. $95 to hit the goal. One away. He's getting 2 more out in 2 weeks. Oh, no. Cavities, cavities, cavities. Or it's like when you have your wisdom teeth taken out. When I got mine, I got all of them out at the same time, all 4. So I was like, the gauze and shit, like this was years ago and whatnot. But they were like, oh, do you want to get 2 and then 2? I was like, hell no, just rip that shit out now. I was like, if I'm going to suffer, might as well just get it all done. I'll be a champ and then, I'll get them all taken out all at once. So, yeah, I usually don't eat a whole lot of junk food either, but I every once in a while, chips, I like kettle style chips. And every once in a while, like some Sour Patch Kids or Starburst or Skittles, something like sweet and whatnot. But again, I've been trying to cut back on the booze and the beer. I've lost 70 pounds since COVID. I'm really taking care of myself. I'm walking like 2 hours a day with my pup, so this is the best that I've felt since I've been in my 20s. So I know it's crazy for people to think that I'm 41. Like most people are like, there's no fucking way. I still get carded, everywhere I go, no matter what it is. They always are like, you're not 41. But I'm like, yeah, I am. But I got good genes, I guess. So. But a lot of like yakisoba noodles or rice or steamed vegetables, sometimes sushi and stuff like that. But it just kind of just depends, on the mood and whatnot. And not eating until you get like you can't move. I don't do that anymore. But this is the best that I've felt in like 20 years. Big facts. What else is going on in your life, Brittany? Anything new? Yeah, I mean they have some good ones, but it's just being able to format them. I mean, there's like Patriot ones and whatnot, but for whatever reason, a lot of them are just not able to format them. But I was able to find one more. I got 3 for you. Sometimes they'll allow, and it also depends on size because when I do photos, right, I always have a certain dimension that's going to fill the screen. So I can find other ones, but it looks like shit if it doesn't fill the whole screen. So a lot of times I have to, keep looking, keep looking, keep looking, and try to find the best ones that I can find. And sometimes I have to cave and I have to just put one up there that doesn't, fit the whole screen or whatnot. But I'm excited to see what we get out of Jacoby and Devontae with Aiden at quarterback since you fired the head coach at GM and the OC. I imagine Devontae Adams is super excited. Strike 3, got him. Wow. Raiders. Six scoreless. I mean, to go from 10 runs in the first 2 innings to this is shocking. I don't think anyone anticipated it being like this. Let's get a photo up here for Brittany. Hit her with a Chase Elliott and maybe a Patriot photo. And I haven't been keeping up with NASCAR as much as I did, in previous months. But I know we're down to the Final Four, and it's the youngest Final Four I believe that we've had in a long, long time. So, and obviously Hendrick Motorsports is going to be heavily favored. They got what 2 out of the 4. So Larson and William Byron, who have been great this season. So if you're Chase, right, no fucking skiing and snowboarding next season. You derailed your whole season. You couldn't get on track. It's like people had just kind of thrown you to the side, like you don't even exist anymore. So we got to get back to him being a top 4, top 5 driver, preferably top 1 or 2. So I'm really excited for next year and missed opportunity from Napa Know How this season. I'll hit you with a Brady. Like even seeing Brady in a Patriot uniform looks weird now. Like it's been so many years since he's been there. You know what I mean? Like we used to see him there, like best team for 20 years. Him and Gronk and Bill, and then he went to the Bucs, and now he's retired. But like even looking at him in the Patriots, it seems like such a long time ago. Appreciate you. Eovaldi. Yeah, I think he's the most deserving to win. Like Larson is in it, but I think with the way that William Byron started the season and him being like the third best, I think that him winning it all would be fitting. That's who I would want to win as well. See, we're on the same page. We think alike. Great minds think alike. Anna in the building again, showing mad love. And I love it when we can end up getting people coming through and showing love like this. Thank you so much. $2 holla. Getting more Annas in the building on a regular basis. Bang, bang, bang. Boom, boom, boom. Bang, bang. Thank you, Anna. I appreciate you tremendously. What do you want to do for a photo or photos? You let me know what you want, and I got you. I'll take care of you. 7 doll hairs, 93 to go. Some days will be great. Some days will be challenging. But, we still got a couple innings. You never know if we'll end up getting a goat to come through at the end and save the stream. Seager again. Mr. October. It's no longer Reggie Jackson. He's got better numbers in October in the postseason than Reggie Jackson. So Reggie Jackson held it down, for years and years and years and years and years, 30, 40 years, but no more. Now it's Corey Seager as Mr. October. Next up, left fielder Evan Carter. Appreciate you, Anna. Even though I thought your name was Amber. That was my second guess, though. Uh-oh, back-to-back hits. Seager to third. Uh-oh, 1-0 Rangers. There it is. Uh-oh, that momentum. Mitch Garver. There it is. Garver singled to center. Seager scored. 1-0 Rangers. Obviously, the video portion on my end will be slightly behind, but obviously, you can always tell with the scoreboard above when it gets updated. So you see that one go up, you already know, oh boy, got a hit. So big RBI. Rangers trying to win the World Series right now. Yep. You already knew between the two, someone, you're not going to be able to, go 0-0 all the way to like the 10th inning. It's just these two teams are way too talented. Eventually, once the starting pitching goes out, or when that starting pitcher is in and they're tired, then they have that one pitch that just slips up, and then the fatigue starts kicking in. That's exactly what happened here. Like my video portion doesn't even have it yet. You manifested the point. See, that's what happens when people donate, Good vibes, good juju, a $2 dono. I need to get some points, and you did it single-handedly. Anna did it by herself. Right up the middle. There it is. 1-0 Rangers. Sometimes that's all it needs, is ESP. You just need to talk it, chat about it, talk it into existence. And sometimes when you talk it into existence and then the energies and the sports gods hear it or they see it, and then shit happens. It's just a matter of time before the Rangers broke through. All right, my keyboard's about to die. I need to plug it in. Hold on one sec here. Josh Young in the box. 0 for 2 with a ground out and a fly out. Ginkle. So the Diamondbacks had the momentum, even though the game was 0-0. They kept getting hits. They kept getting guys stranded, but it just felt like the momentum, the crowd has been engaged the whole game. And that was very big. I mean, this is the last game in Arizona in 2023. So you would assume that the crowd would do their best to will the team to a victory. But then Rangers being Rangers, that team that always wins on the road. This is like what their 10th win on the road if they win this, 10th or 11th. So and then momentum struck. Uncle Mo is in the dugout with the Rangers, drinking some beers, sipping on a little Gatorade, eating a few seeds, spitting them at, and now they are in full control of the momentum now with the 1-0 lead. Can the Diamondbacks come back? Of course. But it just feels like the momentum has shifted now. And then you got to wonder, okay, after Gallen goes out, what are you going to get? Someone that's going to be lights out or someone that's going to be shittier than Gallen? And that's probably what you're going to get. So here comes the hits and the runs in these last 3 innings. It's kind of what we said at the beginning of the game when me and LG were talking. We said, hey, this might be a pitching duel. But what I mentioned is like, hey, after that 6th or 7th inning, where it's going to be kind of that sprint in those last 2 to 3 innings, to see who's going to get those 1 or 2 runs maybe to win. And that's exactly what happened. The script kind of played out to what we were saying at the very beginning of the game. Gallen goes out. I mean, a valiant effort. You had a fucking no-hitter going, and then you gave up 3. You did everything in your power. I mean, you didn't give up fucking 10 runs like yesterday. So it would be 11th. Oh, God. This is crazy. And that's got to be the record, right? We have never seen a team win every game on the road, including the World Series, right? Ever. I don't think this has ever happened in baseball history. Or if it has, it's been a long fucking time. Maybe someone can look that up. But I'm pretty sure it's a record that Texas was going to be able to hold themselves. So, but again, I already knew that the Rangers were going to win possibly in 5 after they took game 1. If the Diamondbacks won the first 2, then maybe it would have been Rangers in 6 or 7, or possibly the Diamondbacks in 6 or 7. But if they didn't win the first 2 games in Texas, the chances of the Diamondbacks winning the World Series to me was 0%. They had to win those first 2 games to set the tone. And then when you were up 5-3, Seager ended up hitting the 2-run blast. Then Adolis Garcia in the walk-off. I already knew the World Series was over. And then, it's like you're getting your heart ripped out. You're not going to be able to recover from that. And even though they were able to win game 2, right, they weren't able to win anything after that. And I think it's going to be over here tonight. And the funny thing is who's going to end up beating the Rangers record? Probably the Rangers in the future, because this might not be the only World Series we see from Texas. We might see another World Series visit in the next 5 to 10 years. It might not be next year. It might end up being the Astros or the Orioles or some other, team, hopefully the Mariners. Maybe we can get up there at some point. But one thing is for damn sure, the best division in baseball is not in the National League. The best division in baseball is the American League West. It's very clear. The A's and the Angels might be bootios, but the Mariners barely missed it. And chances are if we would have made it, we could have probably beat somebody. Maybe overachieved and got a little bit further. But between the Astros, the Rangers winning World Series, and then the Mariners hopefully getting on the cusp, and if we can win one in the next 5 to 10 years, it's very clear that we got the best conference. We got the best division in baseball, in my opinion. Like I said, and especially if we can grab like Ohtani. And even if we don't grab him, I still feel pretty confident in the Mariners' chances of getting to the ALCS once or twice in the next 10 years and possibly 1 World Series appearance, hopefully 2. Maybe win 1, lose 1. Let me know what you want to do for a photo, Anna. Have you got? I think we did Adrian Beltre for you because I always remember people. I remember their names, who they root for, what they like, what they don't like. And then we did Elvis Andrews. You know, I really do care about people, and I remember. I got a photographic like a Big Bang Theory Sheldon brain. Except instead of me doing like equations, for like physics, it's all sports knowledge. From back from 1985 to present. Top of the seventh, runners on the corners, 1-0 Rangers. Wow, 51 point win by the Celtics. Wow. Oh, good throw. Run, 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 run. Got him. Good job. Good defense right there. Good teamwork. Can you imagine if you give up a run in that situation where you can like out juke, either the catcher or the third baseman and you get a score? What are they bitching about now? You're already going to win the World Series, Bochy. Relax. And that was my biggest X factor going in too. As I felt that they had the best manager going into the playoffs based off experience, vibe, and belief. It's like the guy won, three, with San Francisco. Made Mad Bum a regular name. Tim Lincecum, right? Buster Posey. We had Pudge, for catcher for a while, being the OG, but Buster was undersized and small, but God, he was good. And if they didn't have Bochy, they are not winning those World Series. And not only that, even being above and beyond the Dodgers, because at that point the Dodgers were pretty fucking good at that point too. So San Francisco really, showed who was boss in California in those few years. Jonah Heim in the box. Pitches inside, 2-0 count. Well, at least the game has been good, and we're all engaged in the game since the very beginning. In that 10-0 second inning, a lot of us were, it's like you're going through the motions when it's that much of a blowout. And then it got good in the eighth and the ninth inning, but from the third to the seventh inning, it was boring. There we go. Good defense. End of the seventh inning, but you give up a run, and runs are far and few between. Bochy was asking to clarify. He heard the first base ump called foul. Oh, okay. I mean, regardless of what was going on there, I mean, they got their momentum. Now it's like you can eat Corbin Carroll, Ketel Marte. Like if you're looking for an opportunity to be able to, and you don't even need to get a home run. You can just get a collection of 3 hits in a row to get that RBI. But obviously, a home run could be huge. If you get a home run late, that would be the difference between the Diamondbacks winning this game and extending the series or not. So we'll see if we end up getting a late homer by the Diamondbacks, but even getting 3 consecutive hits or getting hit by a pitch or a walk and getting that first guy initially on base, so that way you can kind of get the momentum back in your favor. We'll see if that happens, but at least we have a close game here. 1-0 Rangers. All right, I'm going to get Anna some photos here. All right, I think my keyboard got a little bit of charge there. Adrian Beltre, very well liked. Any team that he was ever on. Can't really say a bad word about him, really. Great defensive player at third, good hitter, good person off the field, no issues. Stud. See how many I can squeeze in here for her. And literally the only guy that can go down to one knee and still get hits and homers. Me too. We loved him in Seattle. If you got someone else that you want to see during the commercial break, I got you. I always just like to be able to, show love and appreciation, Like the biggest compliment that you can get from somebody is a donation on the channel. You can get comments, you can get likes, you can get subs, but obviously to go above and beyond, to donate for my dream and again, I'm full time. So this is not like I'm doing this for fun. This is my full time job. So, I mean, it took me 10 years to go full time. So every dollar counts, even if it's $1. And we're due for a real big dono, from one of our goats at one point or another. Our record right now is 1,300 for a single dono. And I have a feeling that we're going to be getting a pretty big one, somewhere between 500 and 1,500 probably in the next 2 months. That's mad love. Pitches outside, 2-0 count. Do you live in Texas, Anna? Wow, 101 from Chapman, bringing the heat. And even though the Mariners are not in the playoffs, your boy still got the chain on. Always, baby. Always repping. Ball 4. What happens when you're just throwing heaters like that if you don't have location and it's just heat, and you're not hitting your spots, it leads to batters getting hit and walked, or just bad pitches not in the zone, and then you got a runner at first, and then all of a sudden you got a runner on second. You got a couple walks, and then all of a sudden someone gets a RBI, and then all of a sudden you look at the scoreboard and it's 1-1 instead of 1-0. This is a crucial part of the game right here. Who else do you root for? Do you watch the Rockets or the Spurs or the Mavericks? Do you watch anything else besides Ranger baseball? You a Cowboy fan or a Texan fan for NFL? You watch college football at all? I like to be able to get to know the people that are supporting the channel. Bottom of the 7th, 1-0 Rangers. Pitches outside. 1-0 count. DFW. For some of y'all, you don't know. Dallas, Fort Worth. Your boy knows. Some people are like, DFW? What the hell is that? Your boy knows. Bottom of the 7th, 1-0 Rangers. You watch the Mavs and the Cowboys. What team do you like the most? Is it the Rangers, number one? And then you watch the Mavs and Cowboys? Cowboys Eagles this week, big game. Luka's fun to watch. I mean, you could argue he's like the most valuable piece in the NBA. Like, you could go Giannis or you can go Joker, but the guy that's probably the funnest to watch, you could argue is Luka. He's He's what like Dirk was for the Mavericks, but even on a bigger level. You know, we just need to be able to get a championship for Luka, or to get someone to pair up with him. Not a Kyrie, but someone better. Got him. Both of you guys have something in common. You got the marching band, kind of both in the same general area. And LG obviously came through last year when I ended up doing Kraken games against the Dallas Stars. And then, I ended up having, it's always nice to be able to find new people, based off new things that I'm doing. And then, having an NHL fan base, or having a NASCAR, or having, an NBA fan, and then having them become a regular. So Cowboys is what you grew up with, Rangers and Mavs around 2008. Nice. Jake, my boy, one of my best friends. I'm going to fly you out here. I know you will. I know you wanted me to come out there. Even like looking at some of your relatives and playing in junior high and high school, the football fields, like when they have Friday night lights and you see movies and you see TV shows and they talk about how everything is bigger in Texas. Like it literally is. There are high school and junior high locations that literally look like college and NFL. Like that's how big it is there. Like some people are like, yeah, right. Trust me. I've seen photos not only from Jake but from other people as well. It's so serious there. Just like it is in the South. Football is very very big. Where things get shut down, like when they show like Friday Night Lights, and they're like the whole town shuts down, and people are like, "That's bullshit." They don't do that. It does. Certain towns literally shut down, and everyone is at the game. I love that. I love that passion and that support. How are you doing, bro? And I saw you were able to go to a few games, obviously, your son and whatnot. Your Beavers are doing great. Every time I see the Beavers doing well, I think about you and Marcos and whatnot. It'd be really cool is once I get more established and we have more money, it'd be really cool if I could actually fly you out and then you could come here and then we could actually go to Ducks Beavers and we could go to a Civil War together, you, me, and Marcos, because I've never been. And I was thinking if I'm going to go to a Civil War, I couldn't think of two better people I'd rather go with, even if it's two Beaver fans. And I would even go to Corvallis. I've been there before. It's not like I'm afraid, if people want to fucking square up and scrap, I'm not going to be that drunk person that's going to instigate, but as long as you're not being a foul-mouthed idiot or drunk, I mean, those are the people that end up getting in fights and getting their ass kicked or whatever. But obviously, rivalries run deep here in Oregon too. So, wow, that's awesome. What did you play? LG and Anna, what did you guys play? Josh Spores on the mound. Yeah, I'm so busy, Jake, bro. I literally have worked every day for like 3 or 4 months. Like I've only had like one day off, and that was like going to the Ducks in the Colorado Buffalo game. That I got gifted tickets from Mo Gumbo, who actually got ripped off the first time he tried to get me tickets, and instead of quitting and giving up to try to help me, and then he spent more money and then got me tickets to go. What an OG. Prosper School District, 90 million. Jeez. Like we were, and then a lot of the fields in Texas, are they artificial turf or are they grass? Clarinet, nice. Bottom of the seventh, Rangers 1-0 over the Diamondbacks. Hopefully everything is going good with the wifey. Tell her I said hello. Tell your son I said what's up. Hope everything is going well for you. I miss you too, man. I only have like 3 or 4 really close friends, and then I got obviously, people like you and Marcos that I consider very close, but I don't really see you guys that often. So I got probably what five people that were from Oregon, or you're really the only one that's not in Oregon anymore besides the other people. Obviously my boy Justin, Preston, my boy Joey, you, and then Marcos. You know, Turf. Yeah. The problem is, though, is that they got to be able to go to grass, but that costs more money. You know, you can't even get the NFL people to do grass because that's where you get the ACL tears on the turf. You know, turf is sexy and it looks cool, but until you start getting, ACL, MCL, PCL, and obviously if you're in high school, it's not going to be that big of a deal, compared to it happening like on the NFL level where it's more magnified and people are complaining. But I would hope that one day that the NFL owners don't get cheap and everyone has grass. It's more maintenance, but that's more jobs and more opportunities for people. And on top of that, less injuries. You're going to have way less Achilles tears, torn pecs, but mostly with the ACL, MCL, PCLs, those would go down probably. I would say if you had every field in the NFL be grass, I would assume ACL, MCL, PCL injuries would go down probably 30%. It would still happen, but it wouldn't be happening as much. So our fantasy teams wouldn't be all obliterated after like week 3. Kid's going to go crazy if Rangers win. He loves, well, who doesn't? Bro, he's putting up numbers better than Reggie Jackson. Like, what a great time for your son to be the age that he is. You're going to have to get him a Seager jersey and whatnot. Like, this is going to be the beginning of something special. You can already tell. Just kind of a shame that we weren't able to see Adolis Garcia go deep and kind of make more of a reputation and name for himself. But everyone's going to remember game 1, and then, the 2-run homer in the bottom of the 9th, and then Adolis Garcia with the walk-off. Then you obviously have Corbin Carroll and Ketel Marte, but they're kind of like the Phillies from last year. They're good, but just not good enough to win the World Series. They're going to have to try to get there again, and then hopefully the second time around they'll be good enough to get it. But again, the American League is supreme. You got all these National League teams out there, but a lot of times the National League teams, they talk a lot, right? They talk a big game, and then a lot of times they fall short. And I feel that the pitching typically is going to be better top to bottom in the American League, and the players are a little bit more clutch. But with that being said, eventually we think the Braves, you would assume, are going to win a World Series. The Dodgers were very, very good for a few years, no longer an elite team anymore. And it seems like the Phillies are so close that if there is going to be a team that wins for the National League, chances are it'll be Philadelphia and then maybe Atlanta if they can get their head out of their ass. Instead of being this team that wins 100 to 120 games and being a best regular season team and then just being a fucking choke artist, maybe they need to lose more and not have the bye. Instead of winning 100 to 120, maybe the Braves need to not like throw games, but maybe it would be better for them to win like 90, and then that way they have to work their way up and they're consistently playing, not having that week off. Got him. Cardinals have real grass on train tracks that roll. Really? That's cool. Big game tomorrow. Are you going to be able to come in and stop by tomorrow? I know you got a lot of things going on with you and your little competitions, and then your son, and then your wifey, and then the work. But we got Steelers tomorrow, and they just released about an hour and a half ago that Cameron Hayward's coming back for the first time since the beginning of the year from his injury. So you're going to have Minka, Cameron Hayward, TJ Watt, and then you're going to have Will Levis coming into town after he had his first start of the season, throwing 4 tutties and getting his first victory in his career. So the first time I've been excited to watch the Titans in like 3 years. Last time I was excited, they had Tannehill. That was still good. Henry, who was the best running back in the league at the time, and A.J. Brown was a top 6 receiver at that time with the Titans. So it'll be a good one. I would assume the Steelers are going to win because of their defense. Obviously, Pickett, you need someone better than him. Najee and Jalen Warren, they're all right, but again, they just scored their first touchdowns like just recently, so you already know the offensive line is dog shit. Defense is nice. That's the best part about the team, but the O-line needs a facelift, and obviously you need a better quarterback than Pickett, in my opinion. Pickett is okay, but for you guys to be able to be like, okay, we're going to be, AFC North champs, King of the North, like Jon Snow, right? You got to get past the Ravens, the Bengals, and the Browns, and at this point, maybe the Steelers might be the worst team in the division. I mean, everyone's kind of close to each other, and we know the Browns' offense is dog shit, but their D is good. Your defense is good. Bengals, pretty well-rounded, and then the Ravens are pretty well-rounded too, even though the Bengals struggled early. So we need a few changes with that O-line, and you got to get rid of Matt Canada. And honestly, you might need to fire Mike Tomlin, and get someone new in there, a new face, a new voice, And if Tomlin gets fired, boom, come to the Buccaneers. I'll scoop him up immediately. But I feel that in the next 5 years, it wouldn't be shocking if they decide to make a move. And they've only had like 3 fucking head coaches in the last 50 years. Chuck Noll, and then you had Cowher, right? Bill Cowher, and then Tomlin. So it's not like they fire guys often, but I feel it's kind of getting to the end of the run. Unless you can improve the quarterback and the O line, then then he can stay around. But if the O line and the quarterback don't improve, he's going to get fired in the next 5 years, or they'll move on. At least I think that's what I would do. Because at some point you're just the same message is going to go on deaf ears. And I think Tomlin's one of the best coaches of all time. He's like always has a winning record, typically goes to the playoffs. But with that being said, we don't have Troy Polamalu there anymore. There is no Big Ben. It's different now. So we'll see. Oh, you got the flu? Damn. Well, I'll send a bro hug, for you and the fam. So hopefully things get better for you, bro. Megan in the building. What's good? Top of the eighth, 1-0 Rangers. Now you're getting the Ranger fans screaming MVP. Hell, probably some Diamondbacks fans even saying it too. Guy's kind of good. That's the best part about like the playoffs and the World Series, that we have players emerge, and if you watch, you're a part of it. If you're just watching it like on the highlights and you don't really understand what's going on. But we had 2 major breakthroughs in the World Series, 2 superstars, possibly 3 now. So Corbin Carroll now is a superstar, Corey Seager is a superstar, and Adolis Garcia is a superstar. So and then Ketel Marte was an unknown and now is known as a very good player. So those are the kind of the things that we are able to kind of evaluate. But obviously, as good as Corbin Carroll is, he ain't on the Seager level. Now, obviously, Seager in the playoffs is a different animal. Maybe Corbin Carroll is the better player in the regular season, right? And eventually he'll have his moment, right? Him and Julio being in the outfield and whatnot, holding it down, right? But Seager, sometimes, your players are made, in the playoffs and specifically in the World Series, and everyone moving forward will give more respect to Seager and Adolis Garcia, and especially Corey Seager rookie cards and his autograph memorabilia on eBay, BGS, PSA stuff is going to go through the roof. It already has. Like anyone that ended up, owning some of that stuff. I mean, if you were thinking about selling, this would be the time to sell, because this is probably going to be the highest it's ever been. Pitch is high, 1-2 count. Yeah. I mean, that's why with me, like, I feel I'm a sports fanatic. You know what I mean? Like, some people might not be interested. I don't give a fuck. Like, I'm going to watch baseball, basketball, football, hockey. If it's a Stanley Cup, I'm watching. World Series, I'm watching. If my team's not in it, I don't give a fuck. I want to be able to see what's going on. Because the bottom line is if you're lazy and you're not watching, right, and then all of a sudden it's going to be flooded on your fucking timeline and you're on your phone 24/7 anyways, everyone is, right? So you're just going to see a bunch of clips. You're just going to see a bunch of fucking pictures, video. You might as well take the time and just watch. You know what I mean? Because eventually you're going to see it on your timeline. That's kind of my method to it. People are like, oh, I don't give a shit about this. And then they spend 30 minutes looking at highlights and, going through your timeline from one person posting and another person and another person. It's like you're not going to get away from it, especially if it's something big like the Stanley Cup, NBA Finals, Super Bowl, the Natty. There's a difference if you're average or if you're a fanatic. We're not average here. Evan Carter in the box. Top of the eighth, 1-0 Rangers. About to pour it on. We'll see if my prediction becomes true. Because as soon as the Rangers won that comeback from behind win in game one, I said Rangers in 5 because mentally, you got your heart ripped out. You're not going to come back from that. And, I've seen this scenario happen before. And, I feel I'm not going to be right 100% of the time. But a lot of times, especially in championships, I feel like I got a 90 to 95% like accuracy hit rate. Like the first Super Bowl I got wrong in 20 years was last year because the Eagle defense didn't fucking step up. I figured they would, and they didn't. I figured they would play like the Rams or like the Buccaneers did in the previous years. So, but in sports, things can change with momentum. But the only way the Diamondbacks were going to even get this to 6 or 7 games and win is if they won the first 2 games on the road. And then after having that game one comeback by Seager and Garcia with the walk-off, I already knew it was over. And it will be over tonight. Big swing into this. Got him. Big strikeout. Nice job, Ginkle. Mitch Garver, the hero so far today. Bases loaded. 1-0 pitch takes a strike. 1-1 count. Top of the eighth, Rangers 1, Diamondbacks 0, 2 outs, bases loaded, 1-2 count. I mean, the Diamondback fans know that if it goes to 2 runs or more, the game is over. If they can keep it at 1, there's a slight chance they can get 1 and go to extras. But does Adolis Garcia still win series MVP? No. Corey Seager, 100%. Corey Seager is putting up numbers better than Reggie Jackson and Mr. October. The MVP is going to be Corey Seager, 100%. Now, if Adolis Garcia never got hurt and he was still involved, then maybe, it would be, there we go. Left him stranded. That gives him a chance. Garcia's great, and he was the catalyst to get that walk-off, but that was just one play. Corey Seager's doing it every game. 93 to go. Oh, they got to hit me with some Aussie. Good choice. $93 to go. I'm going to go use the restroom here real quick while I got a second. All right, I'm back. Yeah, rest that wrist. Mental health, it's very important. More important than anything else. Got to make sure you take care of you. All right, bottom of the eighth. All right, Tommy fam. This is a good pickup for them, just like Evan Longoria was. They're not going to get hits every single game, but every once in a while, a little bit of magic will happen with the Diamondbacks with those two players. Pitches high and inside. 2-0 count. All right, take care. Bottom of the eighth, 2-0. Let's see what this third pitch will be. Pitch is high, 3-0 count. Uh-oh. Pitching, pitching, pitching. Pitching is everything. Yeah, but the way that this pitcher, I mean, he just got the edge. But I mean, the way that he's out there, I would probably pull this guy just based off the body language and the lack of control. It's like if you keep this pitcher in the whole inning, they're going to tie it up or take the lead. I don't know. It doesn't feel like he's going to be able to get 3 outs. But we'll see what Bochy does. Wow, big strikeout. Way to get control there after getting down 3-0 in the count. That was huge. He's like, take that. That last pitch before that was very borderline, too. Then fouled one off, and he says, let me give you my heat. Right down the middle. Smoke ya. Gurriel, routine play. Throw to first. 2 away. Got to be more patient in the box when you only got 2 innings left. You don't want to rush it. You got to find your pitch. Next up, center fielder Alec Thomas. Oh for 3 with 3 ground outs. He's going to get out of the inning now. Like this guy ain't going to get you a home run. It ain't happening. You're going. They're going to get out of the inning now. I just thought Gurriel would have worked that count much longer than he did. If he would have worked the count, I think he might have been able to get on base. That was a mental error. Wow. Thomas with a clutch hit. Okay. David Chappelle, no relation to Dave. How are you, brother? As I say, it almost hit his foot. How's it going, David? How you feeling about everyone getting fired? You feel pretty good? No more Josh McDaniels, no more GM, no more OC. It's a fresh start, and Jimmy goes to the bench, and then you got Aiden coming in. Things are good now. I appreciate you. But as soon as I saw that news, I was thinking about all my array of people on the channel and my friends, and I was like, this is a good move. Kind of an odd timing, but who wants to fucking watch Jimmy G be terrible the rest of the season? At least now you can evaluate Aiden to see if he's the guy or a backup for next year, right? And then Devontae Adams won't be, as pissed off all the time. His fantasy numbers will go up. Jacoby Myers will get the ball more. Hunter Renfrow will actually be utilized. Josh Jacobs will be happy. And then you just got to be able to get that O-line to do their job. And, we'll see where it goes. It's not like the Raiders are going to make the playoffs. You can't count on Max Crosby doing everything. But I know the offense will look a hell of a lot better now. And I think Aiden should have started from the beginning of the year. Jimmy is terrible. Should just cut him. He's not even worth being the backup on the team. That's how bad Jimmy is. Jimmy is not even worth being on a backup for any team in the NFL. Like, seriously. Like, there's no point. Like, if you want him to be emergency quarterback, third string, maybe. But to me, it's like, you can go be handsome somewhere else. You can go be a model and make plenty of money. You know what I mean? But the Raiders need, a breath of fresh air. And getting rid of McDaniels was the first step. He just can't coach. And he'll never get a head coaching job ever again in the NFL. Never. Bottom of the 8th, Rangers 1, Diamondbacks 0. Let's see if Smith can get a key RBI here and keep it moving, or if they're going to have to wait to the bottom of the 9th, which I assume is what will happen. Nah, Niners don't want him. Niners don't want it. But it also shows you when you have some talent, but then you have a lot of supporting cast kind of helping you. It's one thing if you're on the Patriots or on the Niners, but when you go to a team that doesn't have as much supporting cast, like on the O-line or the head coach or the play calling, then, it gets a little suspect. Three outs left. I mean, you can't expect a guy like Smith to come in who never plays and he's going to be like the miracle hero. Not happening. Not in the World Series. Sorry. But they'll have one last chance with Corbin Carroll in the bottom of the 9th. And if, they're going to tie it up and have it go to extras at that point, that's when it's going to happen. Big time players come up in big time situations. So. Yeah, Diamondbacks are done. Like I said, I already, if I speak it into existence, that bitch is over. Rangers in 5. Diamondbacks' only chance that they had is winning the first 2 games on the road. And after having that collapse in game 1, there's no team that would be able to come back from that. Not the Braves, not the Dodgers, nobody. If the Rangers had that happen to them, I mean, you're not coming back from that scenario. That was one of the biggest clutch moments, not only by Seager to tie it in the bottom of the 9th, but then to Adolis Garcia to walk off after they were pretty much getting their ass kicked that whole game. You have to understand momentum in sports is one of those things that it'll carry over, sometimes multiple games, not just like the rest of that particular game. It's like in the NFL too. Sometimes when you have Uncle Mo and that momentum, it'll be for a play, sometimes a couple plays, sometimes a quarter, a half, a game. But sometimes that momentum will continuously be in the air, like that good juju, that good energy, that good vibe. This one will be over. David says no crying on the channel. Yeah, but you already know you got it, man. You didn't get it with your Dallas Stars, but eventually, the Stars will probably make a Stanley Cup in the next 10 years. There's a good chance. Cowboys probably not so much. Now, if you had a coach like a Jimmy Johnson, and if you had a coach like that, and Dan Quinn was the defensive coordinator still, then yeah, you could. But until Jerry stops having so much firm control on the team, it's going to be the same thing every single year. Overhyped, really, really good team during the regular season, especially early. And then as it goes later in the season, there'll be some struggles. And you get to the playoffs with maybe 10, 11 wins, and then you end up losing in the first round over and over and over and over again. Coaching is big. And on top of that, you got to get a better quarterback than Dak. Dak is one of those guys who used to be a top 10 quarterback, right? And in certain cases, he'll look like a top 10 or top 5, but he's like one of those guys that's a great regular season quarterback, but when it comes to the playoffs, you just can't get it done. You know, that's just a reality. You know, and I've always been a Dak supporter. I'm not like a Cowboy hater or a Dak hater, but you hung on to Zeke way too long. Should have got rid of him years ago. Pollard should have been the one about 2 years ago. 2 years too late. Amari Cooper should have never let him go, right? But obviously CD is doing a great job with the one. And then the offensive line is nowhere near what it used to be. When the Cowboys were great, they had 3 Hall of Fame linemen, Pro Bowl linemen up front. Now you got like 1 or 2 guys, but a lot of the guys that you have now, they get hurt all the time. Like you can't really count on Smith, and you had Frederick. You had a nice, like when Zeke's rookie year was special, but then was Zeke really that good, or was he good because he had 3 Hall of Fame linemen blocking for him? All right, top of the 9th. Josh Young right up the middle. Thank you. I appreciate it. I'm a Mariner fan through and through, so hey, my team ain't playing, but I still got the chain. I'm dripped top to bottom. Mariner hat, Mariner do-rag, Mariner t-shirt, Mariner hoodie, Mariner chain. Pitches outside, 1-0 count. It's my boy Paul Sewald. I like you. Really hurt seeing you leave the team, but we'll give Paul some love. Former Mariner. There it is, 3-0. Rangers. Sorry, Sewald. You choked in game 1, and you continue to choke in the postseason. Sorry, brother. And you need your closer to be like the best guy on the team, as far as like the pitching staff. You got your starters, and you want your closer to be one of the top guys as well. You choked in game 1. We didn't forget about it, and you continue to choke. And I'm not going to say it's all Paul Sewald's fault, because it's not, but there it is. You're about to get the championship, like I mentioned, in 5. Oh, it's over, 100%. If we speak it into existence, the sports gods typically listen. It's over. Oh, and then Corbin Carroll, ball went past him. There you go. It's over. Mental error, and it could have been 2-0, but then you had a brain fart. Now it's 3-0, and it is over. 2023 champions, the Texas Rangers. Pitching, is everything. You can get the clutch hits, but again, it's like defense in the NFL. Defense wins championships, right? Pitching wins championships for baseball as well. You're still going to need those clutch hits, but we see how the games change, from when the starters go out. You have to have a good mid-reliever or a good closer. You have to be clutch in clutch situations. And, it slipped through their fingers again. Anna with the tour. Bang, 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 boom, boom, boom. Bang, bang. Appreciate you. $2 holla. Let me know what you want to do for photos once we get to the commercial break, and I got you. Yep. And I like Paul. Paul was on the Mariners, and he was arguably our most consistent player besides, Jared Kelenic in the first 60 games of the regular season. But, again, once you get rocked, in game 1, like you did, you don't recover. I don't give a shit who you are. You're not going to recover from that. And like I said, I will always root for Paul Sewald, from being from Seattle. Ketel Marte was a former Mariner. Corbin Carroll was from Seattle. But sometimes you just have to come to the reality that you're outmatched. Just like the Phillies were outmatched last year. Sometimes that Cinderella story has to die. and the better team is going to win. And the American League is king. Like I said, we say what you want, but you get more choke jobs out of the National League than you do out of the American League. American League, when they're good, they step up and they end up winning championships. Astros last year, Rangers this year, hopefully Mariners the following year. Another one, 5-0 Rangers. There you go. There you go, Anna. You wanted more, you got more. Now we just need more goats to come through so we can save the day and we can hit the goal. Not surprised. Sports gods know. They're like, oh, dog, no. Hey, it's over in 5 games. But like I said, if the Diamondbacks would have won the first 2, they could have gotten this to go 6 or 7 games and had a possibility to maybe win, but still probably would have went Rangers. But once you had that epic comeback, there's no 6 or 7 games. They're mentally fucked after that. There's no coming back. I mean, if you watch sports long enough, the writing is on the wall. Again, I've been watching since '85, so I feel I watch more film and more sports than even most scouts. Like I said, there's a reason why people will ask and try to get advice for like betting and DraftKings and fantasy and whatnot. But a lot of times, if you can just remember situations that have happened in your past, and then if they happen again with new teams, history tends to repeat itself. You just have to look for it. I mean, history is also meant to be broken, but I mean, how often does a Cinderella story come through? I mean, we could have 20 Cinderella stories out of the NHL, NBA, NFL, and MLB, and out of the 20 or 30 in like 10 years, how many actually come to fruition? Like one? Back, gone, baby. Marcus Semien, home run yesterday, home run today. He said, guess what? Adolis Garcia, you're not here. Guess what? I'm here. Semien is here. Bang, 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 bang. Electric. 5-0. Ranges. Not surprised. Oh, big red machine. Absolutely. With the Griffey, the Johnny Bench. And then even afterwards, after the big red machine going a little bit further with the Chris Sabo, with the goggles, the Rob Dibble. I don't even know how I remember a lot of the things that I remember. There's some people that fucking can't even remember what they had for fucking lunch yesterday or even earlier today. But I mean, I got like a photographic memory like Sheldon from Big Bang Theory. Because like I said, when I was a kid, I played video games and I played with like wrestling figures and turtles and Transformers and G.I. Joes. But the one thing that I did compared to everyone else is I always looked on the back of cards, NHL, NBA, NFL, MLB, and I memorized all the stats. How much they weighed, where they went to school, what their batting average was. I don't know. It just really interested, me back when I was like 5, 6, 7 years old. And, here now sitting at 41, watching sports since I was 3, 38 years, you've seen a lot. That's big facts. George Foster, Concepcion, yes. Tony Perez, stud, yes. Charlie Hustle, yes. I don't know when the parade is going to be. Shows you how important a closer that is good, And Seawald is normally a good closer, but once you get rocked like you did in Game 1, that's still always going to be in the back of your mind. It's like when the Mariners had Robbie Ray come in and then fucking, we saw Yordan Alvarez take him deep. I mean, he never was able to recover after that. Then he ended up getting hurt. But I don't think Robbie Ray will be fucking a name ever again. Like once you have something like that happen to you, you have to be so fucking mentally strong to get past that. Some people can get past it, but most people can't. No team has ever gone 11-0 in the postseason until today. All right, Rangers, I see you. It's Chandler Bing season. 3-2 count. I feel bad for Seawald. Got him. All right, last chance. Creed tire, yes. Simeon coming up big. No Adolis Garcia, no problem. No Mad Max Scherzer, no problem. So it really shows you they had three guys, Simeon, Seager, and Garcia, and one guy goes down, the other guy steps up, and that's only fitting that happened. Surprising to some, but again, if you watched yesterday's game, it shouldn't surprise you. Rangers in 5. Yeah, after game 1, I already knew it was going to be in 5. Check on some of the NHL scores and the NBA here real quick while we got a second. All right, what do we got going on here? All right, so in the NHL, we got the Stars 4, Flames 3. LG is happy. All right, we got the Avalanche 2, the Blues 0. Coyotes and Ducks knotted up at 2. And the Sabres beat the Flyers 5-2. And then let's go to the NBA. All right, Jazz up 104-76 on the Grizzlies. Kings and Warriors knotted up. A very close game, 47-46. Kings are up in the second quarter. Clippers 41, Lakers 28. Nice job by the Clips. Blazers rip City 110-101 over the Pistons. Let's go. 130-111. Raptors destroying the Milwaukee Bucks. I need to see what happened there with Dame and Giannis. Hawks 130, Wizards 121. Wizards are garbage. Celtics 155, Pacers 104. The Celtics win casually by 51. Nets 109, Heat 105. Cavs 95, Knicks 89. Pelicans 110, Thunder 106. Chet Holmgren hit the weight room. Rockets 128, Hornets 119. T-Wolves 110, Nuggets 89. Wow, Nuggets and the Bucks both losing today. And the Mavericks 114, Bulls 105. Let me look at Luka's stat line. Did you get a triple-double? What do you got? What we got with Luka? 18, 10, and 7. Nice job. 5 for 16 shooting, not the greatest. 1 for 8 from deep, but you got the dub. Yeah. Well, once we got that first win, we were able to kind of get it together, But again, me and my, friends here in Oregon, we were thinking, oh shit, we might end up going like 0-10. Like it didn't really feel like we were going to get any wins anytime soon. So nice that we, we're still a shitty team, but at least we got at least a couple dubs under our belt now. Now we just need the Kraken to keep it going too. Oh, 2 count? One out away. Carroll fouled out to the catcher. Just too much Texas. Ketel Marte. Diamondbacks before the game. Diamondbacks fans right now. Yeah, it is what it is. Four-seam fastball. 1-1 count. Shores versus Ketel Marte. 1 out away. But it shows you, if you have the right manager, right, and you have the right players that you have come in, you can change a franchise. Bochy, Seager, Adolis Garcia. If you don't have those three, this is not happening today. And then we probably have the Astros winning the World Series this year. And Bochy's legacy goes up on another level now. 3 with the fucking San Francisco Giants, now 1 with Texas, and this is probably not going to be their last one. There's probably going to be another opportunity or 2 in the next 5 years to get back to this position again. You're going to have to battle the Mariners, battle the Astros, maybe the Orioles or Blue Jays or whoever it may be. So Marte struck out looking, and there it is. The Rangers just won the World Series. First time in franchise history. How cool is that? Mad Max always gets injured, though. ESP all day, every day. I mean, before game 1 started, I thought it could go 6 or 7 games. But again, I always thought that if the Diamondbacks didn't win the first 2, they had 0% chance of winning. But after that huge comeback, I knew it was going to be over in 5, 100%. You don't come back, from a demoralizing loss like that, especially being ahead the whole game, and then it's 5-3. Seager hits the 2-run homer, and then boom, Adolis Garcia with the walk-off. You're not coming back from that. You're not recovering. And it's over. So I looked at your schedule, for next week. Yeah, you got a lot of guys on your bye, with Hurts and Kelsey, like a good chunk of your lineup. And it is over. Bochy, telling y'all that legacy, and people wanted to be like, Bochy doesn't matter. It does matter. Managers matter. You got to have the players. You know what I mean? But again, this might not be the last, the last ring that Bochy gets. I mean, now you got 3 with the Giants, you got 1 with the Rangers, and you might be able to get another one, possibly in the next 5 years as well. Congratulations to them. Reflect with the 5-er. Reflect doesn't want me to be homeless. Appreciate you. Bang, bang, bang. Boom, boom, boom. Bang, bang. Rangers, world champs. ESP is strong. All day, every day. ESP, ESP, ESP. What do you want to see for a photo, brother? Oh, I mean, I don't know what's going to happen. I mean, hell, I might not even be able to win this week. I have so many guys that are on a bye. It's like I already had like that 1 week that I had all the guys on a bye. I have it again, like with injuries, and then all my guys on the fucking Lions. So it's like I got Amon-Ra on a bye, Montgomery on a bye, Laporta on a bye, Cortland Sutton on a bye, Jay Jetta injured, Kyler injured. I literally only have 2 guys on the bench that I can use. Hollywood Brown with no Kyler Murray, which is a no, and then Najee Harris, which is a no. So hopefully I can end up winning this week. I can beat you next week, and then we'll see what happens, But again, we got a 4-way tie, all at 6-2, and I mean we'll see what happens. But I would assume the playoffs are going to be me, you, Poking Money, and probably Seahawk Talk. Well, more than likely, unless Chief can recover and whatnot. But I mean, we'll see what happens. But all of us are sitting at 6-2, and I'm still first place in the league by 1 point over you because I had a shitty week last week. But I'm still at 1,039. You're at 1,038. So. Oh yeah. Why did I have to fucking deal with that bullshit last week, and then you don't even have to fucking deal with that? Like he doesn't have anything that he can use. Like that's like 50 fucking points, 50 fucking points that you don't even got to worry about. But I had to fucking deal with that shit. But you don't even got to worry about that. Yeah, you definitely lucked out, and sometimes that happens. But like next week you're not going to have Hurts, but I'm not going to have Mahomes either. So it's like I got a lot of guys that you have more obviously next week and whatnot, but yeah, but not being able to have ETN and Gibbs, I mean that potentially could be like 50 or 60 points and that's how he beat me. So, I mean, I wasn't going to beat him anyways. Besides that, so 1 point. You got something specific that you want to see, bro? I got to go, eat dinner, take Paisley for another walk. It's been fucking raining like nonstop, but I've already gone on 2 walks today, so I got 1 more to do. And I got my lights finally to show up, so I don't have any issues with distortion anymore, which is good. You know what? But even though you think you might be screwed next week, you could still beat me next week. I mean, a lot of my guys haven't really been that good lately, and unless I have Montgomery and Jay Jetta in the lineup, I don't feel confident really that much. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? Like my wide receiver 1 and my RB 1 are out, and I don't have any RBs. So it's like, how the hell am I gonna? I need those guys to get healthy to give myself a shot. And I can't count on Keenan Allen, Mike Evans, Amon Ra to put up 25, 30, 40 points every week. Sometimes they're only going to put up 10 to 15, so that doesn't cut it. Jay Jetta puts up 25 to 30 every game. Montgomery puts up 20 to 30. Not having that in my lineup is terrible. So, but I'm trying to do the best that I can with what I got. So, we're going to do a photo. We're going to do some Seahawks real quick. I got to go, but I always make time for you. We'll do a few Seahawk photos here for you. We got to make sure we handle the business properly here. Sometimes people come through. Sometimes people don't. Sometimes people donate. Sometimes people don't. Some people will share. Some people don't. So, if you're willing to be able to support my dreams and goals, I'll always make time for you. Little boy Mafe, baby. How about a little Gino? And then I'll hit you with a JSN and a Jake Bobo, and we call it a day. And it's nice too, because even Charbonnet and Bobo, like I don't think a lot of people thought that they would really be that involved, but it shows you like we had concerns about this draft compared to last year's draft. Last year's draft was an A. This year's draft in the early weeks looked like it was going to be like a C, but then it just took some of those guys a little bit longer to get going, and it looks like you got another A draft. Getting guys that fit the scheme. And I'll hit you with Weatherspoon for the last one. And that shows you if you have 2 really good drafts, right? If you have 2 really good drafts, it can change everything. You can go from being a team that's like, wild card team, maybe a team that wins over the Niners if you stay healthy. Hell, you guys might make the NFC Championship game against the Eagles this year. I don't think it's that crazy to think. I mean, who do you got to worry about? Niners, you can beat them, right? Lions, you can beat them. Everyone in the NFC South is dog shit. So if it's, Saints, Falcons, Bucks, who cares? Cowboys, you can beat them. Like the only one you got to worry about is the Eagles. But other than that, if you play the Eagles in the NFC Championship game for a berth to the Super Bowl, that's what you want. That's what you need to be able to prove that you can go, right? But besides the Eagles, I think you can beat everyone in the NFC. And if I didn't really believe that, I wouldn't say it. So, all right, Anna, I appreciate you. And on top of that, right, who would have thought that the Seahawks defense that has all these holes on the D-line, secondary sometimes is shaky, like the run stuffing has been pretty good, but the secondary still gives up yards, but there's still talent there, right? But then you're starting to pick up Leonard Williams and, Frank Clark. Like, you're getting more depth. Like, you guys are all in, and it's exciting to see it in the Pacific Northwest. Like, I might not be a Seahawk fan per se, but I know what's going on, in the area, and I always keep up. And I'm happy for you and Megan and Marcos and all the 12s, And like I said, who would have thought a couple weeks ago that, we're like, oh, Niners and Eagles, NFC, championship game. And then now with the Niners sliding, even with Chase Young addition, maybe the Seahawks are the second best team overall in the NFC. And again, I always keep it 100. When I think things are good, I'm going to let you know. When I think things are bad, I'm going to let you know. I'm always going to keep it 100. And, man, you guys are looking fantastic. So got to give you that respect and that love, man. I'm not a hater. I'm not biased. I call it how I see it based on what we're going through in that personal week. Week in and week out, things can change. But one thing that's true and true, the Rangers are champions. I am looking forward to watching Seahawks moving forward, too. Good luck. All right, guys. Well, I love you guys, and I appreciate you guys very, very much. Hopefully, we can get some more people to come through tomorrow to show a little bit more love. We're going to be doing the Tennessee Titans with Will Levis, going against the Pittsburgh Steelers and Kenny Pickett. Excited about that. And we'll be doing that tomorrow. And then Friday, I'll look at the schedule. Saturday, we'll do WWE pay-per-view Crown Jewel at 10 a.m. And then we're going to do the Huskies and the Trojans over the Ducks and Cal, because that has more to live up to. So hopefully, if you have time on Saturday, we can watch Huskies together and root for Michael Penix Jr. So I love you guys, and I appreciate you guys very, very much. Congratulations to the Texas Rangers. You are world champs. And I got one question for you. Who sports like us? Your boy Orion, Northwest Sports Fanatics, and I'm out. Gang.